just so small.
Where it just jettisoned.
Hey there, this is the Small Stuff Podcast. My name is Kyle Roebuck. This is the intro. Let's start the show.
Matt Cole,
Hey, what's going on?
how are you?
What's happening? I'm good. Just trying to recuperate from the busy long weekend we had. It was good.
What were you guys? You were talking about it before. What were you guys doing?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. We had a huge private event at a church event yesterday, which was Sunday, and then we do breweries, farmers markets, festivals, that sort of thing. Just, and then plus we got catering on the side.
Yeah.
It's good, man. It's good. We're getting busier, and we just got into this new space because we just needed a space to cater. And that's where we're at right now. So it's good. Everything is getting ready to get hyped up for the holidays.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving and Christmas. And, last year I thought January would slow down, but January was a big month for us as well. But we might be transitioning our focus onto the cafe,
Right.
In January, February, just kind of make sure that's up on a good foundation, and go from there. But yeah, we're really excited about that. But yeah.
So for people who don't know, Matt's been on the podcast before. He was on, it was earlier. Episode probably came out earlier this year.
Yeah.
But he was on about a year ago ish.
Yeah.
Probably close to a year ago now. And you run and operate. Well, that's the same thing. Run and operate. You own and operate Prevail Food Truck, a Hawaiian street food truck.
Yeah, Hawaiian street food, like we said in the first podcast, we just wanted to bring something different and creative. And that's what we're going to do with this cafe too. Don't get me wrong, we'll have some classics, but yeah, it's been a good run. My wife, she's been helping me out the past, I think since July, excuse me. She's been helping me out with Prevail since July. And she's been a great help. And not only that, she's part owner too. She's in the thick of it as long as, with me.
All right.
We've kind of had to adapt and improvise with the whole labor shortage. That's been crazy. So I think we might be seeing the tail end of it, though, the whole labor shortage thing.
Right.
People are getting back to work. Not as much as I like to see, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll take much longer.
Yeah.
But, who knows? I'm not super plugged into that kind of stuff. I see what I see, and it seems like it's slowing down a little bit as far as the shortage stuff goes.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. Because you kind of depend on people, as a restaurant or a food truck. And then when you have to improvise and say, okay, well, it's just going to be me and my wife today on the food truck.
Yeah.
And we got to feed 300-400 people, so you have to be really creative in your menu and, how you execute the menu. So
how would you handle something like that?
You just got to make it really easy to put together, last minute, scoop and plate.
Okay.
Kind of situation. Because I try to do everything from scratch and fresh,
right.
So I'll do like a poke bowl, which is really cool. I love poke, which is, sashimi grade A tuna, over rice and vegetables and whatnot. Try to do stuff like pork and mac and, things that we can easily put together without a lot of attention.
Right.
And, during service, so
I get you.
I want to make it really good and different and creative for the customer and, make it a really good experience and that sort of thing. And it's a lot of fun, but the truck is running great though. We haven't had, knock on wood.
Yeah.
We haven't had any issues for a long time.
I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't until you just mentioned it, but as you were saying it, I was like, huh.
Yeah.
You're right. I haven't seen anything about the truck. The truck broke down today. So, sorry.
But knock on wood, I don't want to jinx myself.
I think.
Well, I say that because, honestly, that's a true story. Saturday, customer comes up to my wife and they were talking. He's like, we're neighbors of, we live near the mechanic shop that the truck goes to. And we used to see it almost every week for the first, for a while. And I looked at him, I was like, well, you haven't seen us recently, have you? He's like, nope. I was like, well,
Yeah.
we're good.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like I said before in that first podcast we did together, man, it's kind of like when you build a car for the very first time, you're gonna have like some issues.
There's a lot of gremlins to work out.
Yeah.
A lot.
You know, it's like when you start a business and when you started your first when you started this podcast, there was like mistake after mistake you made.
Yeah.
But that's
Thanks for reminding me.
Oh, sorry. I'm
just joking.
I'm sure I made more mistakes than you, knowing me. But, but yeah, man, it's just, you know, I think we got everything all worked out. You know, I entertained the idea. It'd be kind of cool to do like a franchise.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Hard to control.
Well, just recently in the last couple of months, I have got I don't want to say he's a friend of mine, but I know somebody down in Miami who gets these really cool vintage food trucks that are on trailers.
Is it Jon Favreau?
No.
I just watched Chef for the first time like 2 months ago.
Oh, what? No.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I just watched it and it's so good.
It is, man.
It was so good. It lived up to every expectation.
Yeah,
and more.
dude. Yeah, I think that movie like sparked so many people. Thousands, millions.
It made it look easy.
Yeah.
It really did.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Food trucking is hard, man.
Like watching that movie, it makes you want to just like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. If he can do it, I can do it.
I'm going to go to Pitt Street and just do a food truck tonight.
Yeah.
And then you find out all the permits and the taxes and
I don't think I could operate in a food truck. Like I feel like I'm too big.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'd be knocking stuff over.
Oh no, you're a tall guy, but you'll be fine.
I'm also kind of clumsy.
Yeah.
Like
I
mean,
am too.
I might knock it over. I might catch it, but I still knocked it over.
Well, I wouldn't catch it if it was a knife, but yeah.
Yeah, no. I have a really bad habit of it's saved a lot of things. I always do this. If you ever see me drop something, my foot immediately goes out. It's just a reflex I've built to catch it with my foot or to slow it down at the very least. It's weird, but it's a thing I do.
Okay.
If I drop my phone, my foot is out trying to catch it. And sometimes I will catch stuff on my foot, but like a cup, a plate, anything. I drop anything. It's like, whoop, let's try to slow it down before it hits the ground and breaks. So like I've thought about like, what if I drop a knife one day? Like I'm gonna have to like, nope. You know, like kick my foot out real quick and then hopefully realize.
Dude, you should see my reflex when I drop a knife. I'm like literally, whoa,
Yeah,
like
just
jumping
jump back
like Spider-Man.
Yeah,
because I do not want to get cut, man. Long story, you know, knock on wood, I haven't. God, I hope I don't jinx myself. I haven't cut myself in a while.
Yeah. Just don't think about it.
I try not to, because that's not a fun feeling. Either cutting or burning yourself.
I'm kind of like, when it comes to the thought of like a cut on my arm or something like that, I'm okay. Like that's fine. But when it comes to like my fingers, like cutting my fingers
or burning your fingertips, or
I'm not even worried about like that. Like I just burned myself the other night yesterday pulling something out of the oven. I can't even see it. I burned the shit out of something though. But I that doesn't bother me as much. It's just the idea of something. The last time it happened bad, I tried to call Crystal. She was at work and she didn't answer. And then I called, this is going to sound kind of corny, but I had a reason that I was trying to call somebody. I called my mom just so that someone was on the phone because I was going into like shock. Like I was about to pass out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
dude.
It's not good.
Wow.
Like it's just because it freaks me out so much. Like I was like, by the time I got off the phone with my mom.
So it's safe to say you do not like blood.
No, it's not even that. It's not even blood. Like that's not, I don't know. It's just, it's the idea of something
Did you
cutting
have something
my finger.
dramatic happen to you when you were a kid?
My brother cut his finger really bad. I don't know that is it, but like I was home.
It might be.
Maybe. But he cut his finger really bad. He was trying to open up a bag of plastic spoons with a chef knife. Look, we were kids. we were at home. I was probably maybe 12, 13, and we were at home a lot, like as kids, just kind of like fending for ourselves.
Same here.
Because both parents worked a lot and we just couldn't really afford like daycare.
Yep.
And so my brother was like cutting this bag of spoons open and just slipped and hit his finger.
Oof.
And I'm sitting there eating like SpaghettiOs or something. And he like comes around from the counter. He's not very far away. Like we lived in a single wide. And so I'm sitting on the couch watching TV. He comes around from the counter in the kitchen where I can like see him already. And he just says, like in a scared, crying voice, "Kyle, I'm bleeding."
Oof.
And my initial reaction, because I'm an older brother, was an older brother with an annoying little brother. Was, man, whatever. But then I saw a drop of blood hit the floor, and I was like, oh, God. What? Are you serious? Well, no, I got up, and I just started freaking out, because he's like, when I tell you he cut his finger, he cut his finger.
Yeah.
Like, it was bleeding. It looked like someone got stabbed on our floor. By the time my cousin went and got him and took him to the doctor, it was not good. Maybe that's it.
Probably. It sounds like it.
But I was like, by the time I was done with talking to my mom when I cut my finger, and this is like 2 years ago, I'm like grown, you know? And I'm just like cold sweat, like I'm soaked in sweat. And I had to, like, I finally laid down. I was like, oh, okay, that's better. Laying down's good. But before that, I'm just like about to die.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So if you ever want to get me, cut my fingers.
Next Halloween, I'll do that.
Yeah. Go for my fingers. That's my weak point. But
oh my Lord. Yeah, because I've seen some horror cuts in the kitchen.
I bet.
Well.
Yeah, I got really upset. I cut my finger. When I was working in a restaurant. And actually, this one didn't freak me out. I don't know. It's something recently, I guess. Yeah. But this one didn't freak me out as much. I was just like really upset because I just started playing guitar. And like I cut the shit out of this finger. Yeah. And it was like the only thing that stopped it from continuing was my nail. Like it was like, boop, hit my nail. And I was like, oh, that's not good. Jeez. I was really mad. But anyway.
Three things that I'm very careful at is that it's a Japanese mandolin.
Yeah, I won't fuck with a mandolin. Scares me.
I mean, I hate them, but I love them because they make really nice, good cuts.
I'm going to waste a lot of stuff because I'm not getting close enough.
Well, they're supposed to have like these guards where you just sit there and do that, and they got something like this coaster, and they just go on the mandolin, a slicer. Mm-hmm. And what we call a robocoop, which it's a food processor. Mm-hmm. I tell, like, especially when I'm managing a kitchen or if I have people work for me, I tell them, like, look, if you're doing a RoboCoop, make sure when you put the food inside the food processor, make sure it's unplugged. Then you plug it in.
So you can't accidentally,
Well, I've seen people put their hands in a RoboCoop and they lean over somewhere and they hit the on button. Yeah, I saw that.
Goodbye fingertips.
Yeah, she lost I think 2 fingertips.
Bro.
Yeah, dude, it was not good. I've seen.
Was it just fingertips?
Fingertips, yeah.
You know what's weird? Something I learned a few years ago. Your fingertips actually kind of grow back.
Do they?
Yeah. If you don't, if you're not like too far down. Yeah. So a guy that we used to work with, me and Crystal were in the office, and his wife, he wasn't working there anymore, but his wife still worked there. Mm-hmm. And she just like hauls ass, like yelling out the office. And we're like, what just happened? Like, what is going on? Mm. And he was like working on something with his granddad. And he was using what do you call it? A saw, circular saw. But it was I don't know if it was the push one. I think it was a push one because it kicked back on him. Yeah. It kicked back and he hit his thumb. And he cut the tip of his thumb off, but it grew back. Yeah. So I was like, oh. Like the doctors, like he was like, yeah, the doctors just said it'll grow back. Like it's not a big deal. Man. But yeah, still, that would be terrible.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy. Like I'll sit here and just cringe all day. Yeah. But I still go back to work.
Yeah.
And deal. But that's why I keep my knives sharp, or I try to.
It keeps you from cutting yourself.
Yeah, I bought like a $200 diamond hone, which is like this really cool. You know what a hone is, right?
Where it's a little rod.
Yeah.
A lot of people think it's a knife sharpener, but
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it has like these diamonds and crystals. And when you do my little sharpening knife, it sharpens the knife. It keeps the blade sharp, but sharpens it as well.
Oh, that actually sharpens it.
Yeah. It has like these certain crystals on it with little grooves. It's really cool. I'll have to take a picture of it and send it to you. A lot of professional chefs have those in their knife bags.
Does it look like a normal like steel honing rod?
It does, but it looks it's flat.
Oh, okay.
It kind of it's not round like you would normally see in a.
Does it look kind of like the shape of a microplane?
Yes. Okay. It's very thin, but it's a great tool to have. It's my number one go-to tool. Oh. To have that and a microplane. I love microplanes. Japanese mandolins. I love and hate them, but they're a great tool to have. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a great little thing, and as long as you keep them sharp and you cut yourself, knock on wood, the cut's not going to be that bad.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt. It'll heal quicker.
It's clean.
And that's why I'm a big advocate for keeping your stuff clean, keeping your kitchen clean, keeping everything clean, because when you cut or when you do something, it just keeps people healthy.
Yeah.
It's just normal practices that we all need to just pay attention to.
That probably sounds weird to somebody who like doesn't like. Most people are in their home kitchens, including me, because I don't sharpen my knives like nearly as much as I should. Yeah. I have like 6 on the wall, and I'm like, all right, which one? All right, that one's the sharpest. So I'm just gonna get that one until it's dull, and then I'll sharpen all of them. Yeah. But yeah, people don't realize, man. Like, if you have a dull knife, like if you're having to saw through an onion,
it'll hurt.
If you hit your finger, dog, like that's not only gonna like mess up your fingers quite a bit. It's gonna hurt a lot more because you're sawing. Through, like it's really small. Yeah. But you are. And if you just slice it, like with a razor blade, that's why, like, if you ever cut with a razor or something, it stings like a paper cut for a second, and then it's gone. Yeah. You know, because it's super clean cut.
It's funny. And it's funny. I think that's why I love cooking so much, man. It helps me get away from reality, man, because you have to be in the moment.
I get
and focus, and say, hey, because, like, the internal conversation that I have in my head a lot when I'm cooking is like, you got to pay attention. You gotta be in that moment when you're using that knife, when you're using the RoboCoupe, when you're making a soup so you don't burn it. If is the heat too hot, you're in that moment, which is really, really cool. And that's why I think I love it so much, because that's the time where I can just unplug, from paying bills or doing this or doing that, stuff that I don't want to do. It just helps me. It's definitely a good grounder for me, man. I love what I do. I just love cooking for other people. And I told my wife the other day, man, I think I had a big epiphany the other day, man. It was like, for some reason, I loved being a private chef. When I first started cooking, I worked for like all these high-end luxury resorts, right? And it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. I got to travel. And then I became a private chef, and I loved that because it was all the travel. And it was a great job, and I did really well, and I made good money. And then it got to a point where I just didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And I never knew. I was like, why is that? I just wanted to get out, and I wanted to own my own restaurant. I thought it was just the mere fact of owning my own restaurant. But, and I thought more about it. I'm a thinker too. And so I just, why is that? What was that? What was that turning point of made me think, I wanted to get out so bad, being a private chef. I loved it, and it was got to the point where I left, I had a love and hate relationship with it, and I thought to myself, I was like, people that I used to work for as a private chef, it was like they had, the kind of food that we would make as chefs, or it was normal to them. It was an everyday life. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They would go to Aspen and eat at Ritz-Carlton downstairs in the hotel.
Right.
By Todd English or whatever. And then they'd come home, and I'm not saying I'm no Todd English, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying they're just used to that kind of good
You're
food.
cooking similar dishes.
So, they're used to that kind of food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then when you cook for the public, it's like they show much gratitude, much appreciation, and you love that. And you get so much love from the community when I just love sharing my, just my passion with the community, and in return I get the gratefulness and that sort of thing. It's really cool. I mean, I am human, and I do make mistakes, and sometimes I try to limit those mistakes as much as possible by making sure my salsa isn't too salty, or whatever the case may be. And there are some people that'll let you know on Facebook.
Yeah, I've noticed.
But
those groups are fun.
Yeah.
Maybe not, maybe fun's the wrong word, but when I read some reviews, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't read the rules to this group.
Yeah. Well, you got to understand where I come from. Where I come from, look, when I have a problem with a restaurant or somebody, like, for example, I'm not going to name any names, but like my wife's vegetarian. So like sometimes we'll go I'll get an egg and cheese biscuit, and she'll taste the bacon that was once on there, or, something like that, and, my first response is, let's call the manager.
Right.
And very politely say, hey, look, I just thought I'd give you a heads up on the situation. I'm not expecting anything free. Right. I'm just letting you know what my problem is, because as a manager, I come from that, that's what I would want to hear. so I can make the correction.
Right.
You know, instead of, you know, I don't come from the era of going on Facebook and venting on a platform, which, you know, I mean,
I don't know that that's an era thing, because I'm from the same era that a lot of these people are, but a lot of these people are older than me too.
I totally agree with that.
It's just like,
I totally agree with that.
It's either you're rude, you know. And
I think it's just a person thing.
Like, bro, just go. Don't call somebody out like that, man. You know, unless you tried to go to them and then they were a jerk.
Right.
Then that's sure
totally understandable.
Then go for it, I guess.
But give us a chance to correct the issue.
Exactly.
And you know, I mean, there's just no way. I mean, anybody out there, I just don't believe that there's that one person that scores a 100% every single time.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. I just, you know, I've got my thoughts on that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even when it's like a nice, quote unquote, like criticism, like something like that.
Yeah.
If you were to put like the egg and cheese biscuit, if you were to put that up on the thing and be like, hey, look, this, like, by the way, the group I was talking about, for people who don't know, is we have here in Greenville, we've got a few like restaurant groups on Facebook that's like where you can leave reviews. One group is specifically, you're supposed to just be supporting restaurants here. If you got something not nice to say, go to the manager. Right. Or somebody created another group that's uncensored.
I've heard.
And it's people. I was in that group for like a second, and then I was like, bro, y'all are just being like nitpicky and assholes.
Yeah.
Like, go to the manager about this.
Yeah.
You know, or go to somebody who can do something about it. Don't just like call people out.
Yeah.
Because you're hurting business at that point. I mean, like, everybody makes mistakes.
I think everybody is under different. I think we're all hurting.
Yeah.
Not hurting like we're getting ready to go out of business, but hurting in the sense of like, you know, price inflation has really affected my business. Gas prices are through the roof.
Tell me about it.
You know, I mean,
I can only imagine the problem you've got with that.
Lord, I've got about, I think, depending on where I'm going, 7 to 9 miles at a gallon or whatever.
You want to know something hilarious?
Yeah.
My truck out there?
The Lexus?
The Lexus? That's about what I get in town.
What?
Yeah. It's terrible, man. That thing weighs a lot, and it's all-wheel drive.
Never would have thought.
It's got really big, like, for what it is, it's got big wheels and tires on it that are, and the wheels are super cheap, so they're not like light wheels. They're like steel, just heavy as hell.
You know, I know this might sound crazy, but I get better gas mileage in my diesel.
Oh, no, that makes sense.
Than anything.
Diesels are really good at
I love them.
Fuel efficiency. Diesels are the way to go.
And then when I tow, it's like I'm towing nothing with a diesel.
That's what diesels are really good for that. That's why I
love diesel.
Those Land Cruisers, they're so not here. We didn't get them because we never get anything cool in America, but in Australia and I think in Japan, you can get what's called, so that's a 100 series Land Cruiser. You can get what's called I think it's a 101 series Land Cruiser, which is the same body except for it's diesel. It's a diesel platform.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm
That's
like,
cool.
Whenever that motor dies, if I still have this thing, whenever that motor finally gives out, it's at 205,000 miles right now.
What kind of motor is it? Do you know?
It's a Toyota 4.7 liter V8. It'll go forever. So it's not going to die anytime soon. As long as I take care of it, it's got another 250,000
That's the thing
in it.
that Toyota, you know, they had a mindset years ago where, you know, if somebody was on the side of the road, they wanted to be able to fix it on the side of the road if they could.
Yeah.
You know, and Toyota built things that last a long time.
They took a different approach than other manufacturers who they're just like, look, it just needs to run for the next 5 years until they can buy another car.
Right.
And Toyota's like, no, we want loyal customers.
Right.
So let's build stuff that's going to last. And if they choose to buy more Toyota stuff, go for it.
Yeah.
It also makes their shit really expensive.
Yeah.
Like if that motor does go out and I decide to try to replace it with that same motor, that motor, that 4.7 gasoline V8, a used one with like 180,000 miles on it from a junkyard is still going to run you like $3-4 grand.
Yeah.
Which is really expensive for
a used one.
For a used motor with almost 200,000 miles on it. But I'm not bullshitting. That's how much they are. Because they know that they last.
Yeah.
You know, if it's been well taken care of, you're all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can imagine the rising gas prices and your
the cost of food.
What motor's in that truck again?
454.
Yeah.
It's a gas guzzler. Yeah. So that's why I try to keep it around here, man, you know, and it's a lot of work taking it out to Aden. Even to Aden, it's a lot of work taking it out there. I took it out there Saturday at Aden, and that was a haul, you know. I just, all in all, man, I just try to be smart with my time, if I'm going across town, I just want to make sure I make a certain amount of money,
Right.
Just to make sure that we're sustainable and that sort of thing. But once we get the cafe up and running, it's just going to, it's just going to be Friday, maybe Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights,
Right.
maybe Saturday afternoons, maybe Sundays, and that's it. And just keep that cafe open. It's just, I was talking to another food trucker last night, and we were just like, it's just better just to open up a cafe or a breakfast place and make, enough money or break even or a little bit break even than to take that truck out,
Right.
across town and, make half a break even,
Right. Yeah.
it just makes more sense.
So we talked about, I know last time you were here, I asked you, because you were fresh into the food truck.
Yeah.
And I asked you if you had plans on like expanding it, like I think I mentioned Jay with Villa Verde, how they started as a food truck.
Right.
And I'm sure there's a couple others. But eventually they found a spot and they were just like, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
And is that what you guys are trying to do now?
I'm always going to keep that truck.
Right.
Right now, my intention is to keep that truck up and running. There has been some thoughts in my head. It'd be kind of cool to take some of the heavy equipment off, and then put like more lighter options on there. Because a lot of people have been responding very well to like bao buns here in Greenville. Is a good example. And that doesn't require a lot of heavy cooking.
Yeah.
And just taking the heavy equipment and putting it into the restaurant.
Right. So what's this place going to be?
The cafe is, it's going to, breakfast and lunch. And, I'm still searching for a really good coffee service provider. I've talked to a few local ones, and we're still like, trying to figure out, what machine to use and this, that, and the other. But the end result is to just do some really good coffee, and really nice breakfast. Not really nice breakfast, excuse me. Let's just be a little bit more specific, I guess. But I've got all different kind of ideas in my head. It'd be kind of cool to do like some homemade Pop-Tarts or.
Oh, that would be really cool.
I did it for a beer dinner a couple months ago at Local Oak, and that just went out like gangbusters.
Did you use them like a dessert there?
Yeah, it was like a 5-course thing, and in the dessert, the Local Oak had some sort of blueberry sour, I think.
Oh,
it was really nice. So what I did was I just made like a blueberry Pop-Tart.
Nice.
Yeah, it was so good. And then took some homemade marshmallow and I spread it on top of the Pop-Tart, and then I bruleed it. So I just I didn't burn the top, but I just caramelized
toasted
it. Yeah. And it was really, it was tasty. It was really good. But I've been toying around with a lot of different ideas. I might say this prematurely because I'm not really sure if I'm going to do it or not. But it'd be kind of cool to do like a fried chicken biscuit with like hollandaise on top.
Oh,
and
fancy,
and pimento cheese grits and that sort of thing.
You got me there.
And
I'm in.
Just get crazy with it, man. And but then we'll have some classics if you want like a bagel or whatever. Something simple. But for lunch, the lunch was the biggest thing, for me in the beginning, but the breakfast was like a afterthought, an add-on.
Right.
But the lunch, I've always wanted to do like a really cool lunch or a sandwich shop. Kind of like, because I remember back in the day when I used to live in Aspen, Colorado, and we used to snowboard a lot, and we used to get off the mountain about 3 or 4 o'clock, and we go to this place called McGuire's. Man, you could probably Google it, guys, but they're closed, unfortunately. I don't know. I think the start of COVID kind of killed them a little bit. It's tough to be in Aspen, man, as a restaurateur.
Really?
Yeah, man, because you need investors and backers to back you, man, because the real estate in Aspen
just ridiculous.
is ridiculous, man. I mean, it's so bad, man. When I worked in Aspen, I used to work for Little Nell, and so they bought like a little hotel, like literally 2 blocks down. I think it used to be an old Quality Inn, something like that. I can't remember. And they bought them out, and they used that entire hotel for seasonal staff.
Okay.
And
that's a smart idea.
Yeah, and that really helped them keep people, around. They weren't quitting because they couldn't live because, Aspen rent was like $5,000 a month for like a small little cottage. And it's ridiculous. It's actually built for the rich, the super ultra wealthy, which is fine. I mean, they tip well. And I mean, they took good care of, the hospitality people, but I had a blast, man, living in Aspen, man. It was so much fun. But anyways, I'm off subject here. But anyways, but yeah, there was this really cool sandwich shop, McGuire's, man, and they had all these different kind of creative sandwiches, man. It was so cool. Like turkey and cream cheese and provolone with avocados and alfalfa sprouts. I mean, alfalfa sprout might be different around here. I get it. But it was just really different, really cool. At the cafe menu, I just want like half of it to be classics, like, Reuben, pastrami, tuna melts, the classics, BLT, right?
Yeah, okay.
Clubs. And then the other half to be, to really be creative, like a pork belly, banh mi. Wait a minute. I got a menu in my pocket. It's like a really rough draft.
Yeah.
Really, really rough draft.
Let's see it.
I'm unfolding it like a kindergarten. But Hawaiian pork belly po' boy. Excuse me, I said banh mi. But like pastrami, I got trifecta barbecue pork. And then like I want to do some really cool grilled cheeses, your traditional grilled cheese, your southern, your SoCo, pimento cheese, grilled cheese, mac and cheese, grilled cheese, caprese, and then some hot sandwiches.
A mac and cheese grilled cheese.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
You never had one of those?
No.
They're super delicious. They're super good.
might look like I have, but no.
Man. But just some really cool stuff, smashed Philly and then a buffalo chicken.
Ooh, a smashed, like a Philly cheesesteak in a panini press?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, just make it and then
I love
serve
that.
it and then just have it like a little bit of an au jus on the side and just dip.
Yeah. I love that word. Au jus.
Au jus. It makes me feel fancy.
Yeah.
Or just call it a dip or something. That'd be kind of cool. I love dips, but
Au jus sounds better than broth dip.
yeah, or bone broth.
Yeah.
Where people are like, I make bone broth at home. I'm like, dude, just au jus. But yeah, buffalo chicken, it's really cool. Is I'll take like rotisserie chicken and mix it with like cream cheese and hot sauce and then spread it and then melt it.
Yeah.
And then have like a blue cheese or a ranch dip on the side.
I think everybody in North Carolina is familiar with that particular.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Every Super Bowl party, every anything, somebody's got buffalo chicken dip.
Yeah, well, that's why I want to do it because buffalo chicken and Philly cheesesteaks and wings are pretty much a predominant food group here in East North Carolina.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We love to eat like shit. Yeah. As far as like it's delicious, and that's all we care about.
Yeah, I mean. I just try to pay attention to what people like and cook for them. You know what I mean?
I feel like I need to correct what I just said. By eat like shit, I mean it's just not good for you. I'm not saying that your menu.
Oh yeah.
No.
I didn't take it
that
way.
I know.
But you're trying.
I want to make sure that there's people out there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. I have a tendency to put my foot in my mouth when I'm making jokes.
Yeah, that's why I'm always careful too. But there's this fancy one I want to do too. It's like a fig and prosciutto. It's like with truffle oil, smoked blue cheese, balsamic reduction, and mozzarella, and press that down. I thought that would be really cool. Artisanal salads and soups and that sort of thing. But there's a lot of people, man, in Winterville that are hungry for like food in that area because I don't know if you've noticed, but Winterville, or I don't know if Winterville's doing it, but somebody, a developer, they're building out like towards Aden. And man, I couldn't tell you how many parties we're doing out there going towards Aden.
Right.
That's where I was Saturday, but it's just, it'll blow your mind. It'll blow your mind. When I talked to you last time, just things started to happen where we were doing a lot of things in Winterville and parties and that sort of thing. We do some parties in Greenville, and we do a lot of festivals and farmers markets in Greenville too. But I just feel, I think it's great. I think Winterville, Greenville is, I think it's one town, honestly. I think it's a very great area.
Yeah.
I think we just need to embrace that we're growing in that direction as well. Because Greenville's pretty jam-packed.
Yeah.
It's really jam-packed.
There's a few openings here and there, but you're right.
It's really tight.
Everybody's kind of stacked on top of each other at the moment.
Yeah, it's very, very tight. I don't know, man. Not to sound like a small town boy, but I'm not a fan going on Fire Tower and just sitting in traffic and fighting traffic and Greenville Boulevard. And it's just, that's why I had a kitchen over there off of Greenville Boulevard, and I just didn't care for it because of the food truck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very overprotective. I am somewhat very overprotective of the food truck. It's my baby. So I just not a big fan of that.
I was driving that around traffic, that huge truck.
Right.
It's a target for people who can't drive.
It really is.
It's real bright. You can aim right for it.
But yeah, so I like where I'm at right now. It's quiet, it's chill. We're painting the walls, getting everything ready.
Where are you guys putting it? Where's it at?
It's off of Old Tar Road in the Food Line Strip Mall.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right across the street from my house, and there's a lot of people that one thing I've noticed when I go to breweries over in Winterville, that there's a lot of people like myself that I don't know, we just ended up in Winterville and I just want to be able to cater to those people like myself that just want to go across the street and grab a cup of coffee, cappuccino, whatever, without fighting the traffic. You know?
And that strip mall you're talking about right there, that's right down the road from Local Oak, isn't it?
Yes,
kind of?
yes, yeah. It's like 2 minutes away.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. We might be able to do like some sort of, delivery service to those breweries would be kind of cool.
That would be smart.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Because it's really not far.
No, it's not. It's not at all.
Because you've got Local Oak, and then right down the road from that is, what's that other one over there?
Naughty Dog?
Naughty Dog, yep.
Well, then you got Tiebreakers. They just opened up in between the two.
Oh,
Naughty
really?
Dog and Local Oak, yeah. I for some reason, they haven't done a lot of marketing on that.
Yeah, I didn't know. You said Tiebreakers, and I was like, well, that's over here, but...
Yeah.
Or isn't it a Tiebreaker?
No,
yeah,
it is. It's across the street from Arby's or something like that, right? Or over there by Dunkin' Donuts.
I think it's right down the road here, I get AJ McMurphy's and Tiebreakers mixed up sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Tiebreakers is the one I've been to a few times now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot your name. Or forgot where you were, I guess.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, but no, they opened up a spot down there, and I'm looking forward to try them out.
Yeah,
I mean, I understand they're it seems like they're American food, I guess.
Yeah,
burgers, wings.
It's bar food.
Mozzarella sticks.
It's good though.
Yeah,
it is good.
It's crazy. I haven't. Well, in my defense, when we first moved here, COVID happened. So I mean, we really couldn't get out. Now we're starting to actually get out. Like last week, we saw each other at Sidebar.
Right. Yep.
That was really good, man. I'm happy they're there.
I got to sample a few things while I was there. I didn't get to eat.
The Baracha beans are from what I remember from Texas. I was very impressed. Are you familiar with Baracha?
No.
Baracha means drunken beans.
Oh.
Yeah, in Mexico I think it's tequila. They put tequila or beer or something, some alcoholic beverage inside these beans, and it's really good. It's really tasty. If you're from Texas or used to live in Texas, Baracha is like huge. And he had that on the menu.
Okay.
I guess that would be appropriate considering he's a native of Tejas.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know. Yeah, Jacob.
Yeah.
Huh. From what I hear, he's either from or used to live there. I'm not sure, one of the two, but he used to reside in Texas some time ago. But we had the smoked brisket taco. That was really good. My wife had the chorizo tempeh, which is really good also. I'm happy that that they're doing something being a vegetarian and being forward thinking with that, because it's just that's just great. It tastes really good.
As Greenville grows, that like 15 years ago, you might have been able to find like 10 vegans in Greenville.
They're
maybe in North Carolina. Period.
Yeah. There's a lot more now.
Yeah, I mean, as Greenville grows and as more people come here from places like Raleigh and Charlotte and other areas of the country, also that are a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say liberal, but I mean that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it's a different way of thinking than is here, I guess.
It is, man. But like, I think that's because we're getting a lot of implants here.
Yeah.
I
feel like liberal's the wrong word, but you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of people from Raleigh. We're getting a lot of people from just cities and towns that are a lot bigger than Greenville, Winterville. That, like, for example, when you go to Wilmington, I mean, to find an acai bowl is not hard, you know. So I would really, and I forgot to mention this, I would really like to do acai bowls. My wife and I, we love acai bowls. We love poke bowls. We love, don't get me wrong, I love my steak fries, but you know, I'm 43 years old. I got, I got to take better care of myself. But, you know, and that's one thing I'd like to offer at the cafe, you know, where we do some really delicious smoothies and maybe some juices. I'm not really sure. You know, I'm still trying to work all that out in my head. I feel like I've got time, you know, because we're at the point where we got about 2 months we'll be opening. So I've got another couple of weeks to really think about the menu. But I want some, you know, really nice healthy offerings like, you know, avocado toast, those sorts of things, you know, because, you know, people like myself, you know, I don't eat healthy 100% of the time, but I want to go I want to have that option where I can go and like, you know, I want to kill a poke bowl, you know what I mean? Yeah. And not feel bad about being stuffed.
I love cheese biscuits, but I also like to have something sometimes that doesn't sit like 20 pounds on my stomach.
Right. And that is totally healthy, you know? I start feeling really bad when I eat a lot of fried food.
Oh yeah, I feel like shit.
So I try to like, you know, just have a mix up of all different kind of stuff. But yeah, that's where, you know, and I'm really excited about that too, you know, because, you know, I want to have like muesli. Love muesli.
What's that?
Muesli is overnight oats.
Okay.
Yeah, you just take oats and you know, have it sit overnight with water and milk or almond milk. And you add a bunch of berries and toasted pecans on top.
Do you eat that? Do you typically do you eat that cold? Or do you
eat it cold.
Okay.
You do eat it cold.
I've heard of it, and I had a roommate one time who used to do that, but I never tried
it's really tasty. And man, you know, in a lot of these recipes that I'm like shooting off, man, is a lot of stuff we used to eat in like Colorado. You know, a lot of people have a misconception thinking that, you know, vegan and vegetarian, even healthy food doesn't taste good. You know, and that's not the case, man. It can taste real good, man. You just, you know, I mean, when I lived in Colorado, we used to eat muesli like it was going out of style, you know, and you know, because we used to, you know, get muesli, fill up on it, and hit the mountain and snowboard all day.
I mean, when you're used to a ton of salt and a ton of sugar and a ton of crispy, crunchy textures, and then you go to something like that, or you go to, you know, it's just not. I get why some people have an aversion to it because it's just not what they're used to. Yeah. But if you dive in and try to it's like I try to tell Crystal whenever she decides she wants to try like some of the beer that I have in front of me. She hates beer, but I'm like, if you just like sip it, nobody initially goes beer. Like it's not like don't get me wrong, it's not the most delicious thing in the world. Yeah, it ain't. You know, the same thing with whiskey. Like if you sip whiskey, it's like, you know, it's not a fun experience necessarily, but what I get out of it is like, I'm used to the taste now, the bitterness or the as far as like liquor goes, you know, the sting. I'm used to that, so I'm kind of past that. But
absolutely right.
But like finding the other stuff that's in those, like the flavors that's in there. Like me and that roommate who did the overnight oats, we got into this series on YouTube, which was these two guys. I think the channel is called The Modern Rogue. But they did like these three videos with a whiskey sommelier, is what he was called.
Ooh, that sounds like a fun job.
Yeah, and it was like he was teaching them like how to taste whiskey and how to like, you know, how to get the most out of it. If you want it to be a little stronger, take a little drop of water, pop that in the glass, and it oddly enough, it makes it like 10 times the flavor like. It burns a little more. It's weird. It's so weird, but I could prove it to you.
Okay, so you take it, you just drop a couple of water, like
you don't want to water it down too much because too much is gonna do it. But like 1-2 drops of water and something about the water
mellows
being
it
in the
out?
whiskey. No, it makes it stronger.
What?
It's strange. If you overdo it, it does mellow it out. But if you just do like a couple drops of water and like a neat glass of whiskey, it something about
that's interesting.
It attracts something in the like the oils or something that's in the whiskey and brings it to the water. Something about that. I don't know. I'm an idiot. Don't listen to me. All I know is it works.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, I mean, we can try it like before you leave. I've got some. Like I can bring it in here and we just boop, boop, do it real quick. But yeah, so stuff like I like looking for. We got into that, and me and him started just buying like different whiskeys and trying them, and like, oh, I got cinnamon in this. Did you get cinnamon?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I'm getting a little bit of cinnamon. There's also a little bit of vanilla. There's a little bit of like, I'm getting a little bit of blueberry.
Yeah.
Like it's weird, you know?
Yeah.
It and you
So
find that
you're
in beer
whiskey-
and everything.
So you're a whiskey guy, huh?
I was.
I'm a bourbon guy.
I'm a.
I'll drink whiskey, but I'm more of a bourbon.
Yeah, I don't drink much these days.
No.
I'll have a beer every once in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I use other things these days. Well, actually, Delta 8's legal, so
Yeah.
Delta 8,
There you go.
THC. That's what your boy's on these days.
Yeah.
I don't do much drinking. It doesn't drinking. I've tried it since I stopped.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how much I drink.
Mm-hmm.
I always feel like shit.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm so used to not having alcohol in me that I just feel like garbage
Yeah.
after drinking.
I don't know. I mean, I probably do it 2-3 times a week. I'll drink like, I don't know, 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But I love beer though. I love craft beer. I love bourbon. I only drink bourbon like during the cold months, you know, but like, you know, the beer, I love beer. I wish my body doesn't love it, but you know,
Wish it didn't have so many carbs in it.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a good thing, you know, but it is what it is. And it's just a passion of mine. It'd be kind of cool to sell at a cafe too, you know, some different selections
Good beer.
of beer.
Yeah.
You know, even places that, you know, hard to get beer, you know, maybe some beer from Charleston and things that I enjoy and that sort of thing. I don't know. I guess I just got to take it one step at a time, man.
You have a favorite beer?
Yeah, I mean, I have a favorite couple of beers actually. I mean,
Do you have so I've got like a favorite more craft beer. I've got a favorite more like, what's the word? Commercial beer.
yeah,
And it's barely a commercial beer, but it is. And so my favorite kind of craft beer, just to kind of set you off, and Voodoo Ranger from New Belgium.
I've
New
had
Belgium.
it.
so I'd still call that a craft beer. It's kind of commercial, but you know, it's still crafty. It's still like a craft beer. Voodoo Ranger Juicy Haze IPA is. I'm not really a big IPA fan. I used to pretend that I liked it because I was one of those guys. But then I found this and I'm like, oh, this is actually really smooth.
Yeah.
Like it's not super bitter. It's kind of citrusy and it's like 7.5% per can, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
2 of them now, like if I had one now because I don't drink much,
Yeah.
I would 100% be feeling it.
Yeah.
But I've got that and then Leinenkugel during the summer.
Google.
It's brewed with like lemon peel and shit. It's in like a yellow and red and blue.
I'm sure if
crate.
I saw it, I would recognize it, but it doesn't ring a bell. But I would have to say, I mean, I know it's commercial. It's Wicked Weed, and is my favorite go-to. It's a little different, you know, because Wicked Weed is a huge brewery in Asheville, North Carolina, and they got bought out by Budweiser.
That's like super hoppy, isn't it?
It is. It is. Oh yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think is that the one like when you crack it, it smells like weed,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay.
Bro, I got a crazy story for you. So I was at TAP last week, and so I was sitting there talking to the sales rep or whatever, 2 of them from Wicked Weed, and we were there talking, and it was really cool. They gave me some beers that are not out on the shelves yet.
Yeah.
And I opened up this one specifically. It's like some pineapple kind of beer. I don't even know what it was. It was really good though. And I opened it and I was like, dude, it smells like weed. This is weird. Like that's the first time I noticed that. And I looked at my wife actually looked at the, cause I said it several times. And my friend, he was like, yeah, dude, that smells.
Yeah.
But like she looked at it and I think it said like, I forget what word, but it was like some sort of CBD or
Really?
Something. I don't even know, but it smelled like marijuana.
I know that. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody out there, but I think that like super hoppy beers, because it's a similar. I want to say it's like a similar. There's something similar about like hops and marijuana. There's something that's like kind of similar about the smells that you get off that, and I think. I could be wrong, but I think super hoppy beers have a tendency to kind of smell like weed.
That might be the case. and I come from a standpoint, I don't know a lot about beers and how to make beers. I'm one of those guys that enjoy drinking them and the company. But it's really funny how you say that, because Wicked Weed, if you go on there, I'm like sitting there, I'm doing like, is there a sponsorship for Wicked Weed right now?
I wish. Hey, reach out. I'm totally down.
But on their website, I hope they have it on their website. They have a really cool story of why they called it Wicked Weed. It goes back all the way, I think, to some king from England. But you have to check it out, because I don't want to give you bad information on their website. But it's a really cool story of why they called it Wicked Weed. Yeah. And they got I want to say it's King Henry VIII. But I might be wrong. So if you check me on my
let's look it up real quick. Why not?
Yeah, it's really cool. I hope they have it on their website, because it's a really cool story. Something about how he wanted to grow this hoppy plant to make drinks, and they thought he was crazy, and they ended up loving it. And so they called it Wicked Weed, because it would make you do wicked things.
Okay, I see.
It's some crazy story, but it's really neat.
Yeah, I'm just going to look this up real quick. Brighton, if you feel like you need to cut, then feel free. If you think that we're doing fine with this dead air, then we're good. Let's see. Because I am curious now, so I want to look it up.
It's really cool. I hope you can find it. My phone is going off like crazy.
I don't see anything about the history on their website, but whatever. I believe you.
I'll go in there and try to find it. They should have like a story on there like that, because that's a cool story.
I didn't dig too deep. It could be up there. I was just trying to keep the break to a minimum.
I hear you.
If there was one. But we went to have you ever done the New Belgium like brewery tour in Asheville?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
So that was a lot of fun for me, because Crystal doesn't drink, but she kept getting beer. And so by the time we left, like me and Crystal, and then a friend of mine and his wife, we all went. We were up there for just like a week in the mountains, and we went to the brewery because we were like, oh, cool, free tour. And it was like, you get to try beer samples. Yeah. And I was like, all right, cool. We get to try different beers. I didn't realize that it was like, you get a full cup of beer every time we try a new one.
That's hilarious.
And so by the time
y'all were trashed.
By the time me and like my Crystal had to drive back, because by the time we left, it was like me and my buddy were just like, it's like, we do not need to drive. We're not like smashed or anything, but we don't need to drive for sure. But she warned us about this one beer that was similar to Wicked Weed. Yeah. The whole point of it, they made it to smell like that. She was like, I'm just going to warn you guys real quick. It's going to smell like someone, as soon as I crack this tap, it's going to smell like somebody just lit a joint. Like, heads up.
That's crazy.
And as soon as she did, legit, as soon as she started to pour the beer, me and my buddy were just like, looked at each other like, what?
So what kind of beer was this?
I don't remember. Probably something just super similar to that. It's super similar to Wicked Weed. That's why I think it's like, it's just, you make something super hoppy, you know?
What made them super popular and famous, New Belgium, is that Fat Tire. I love Fat Tire. Yeah. And I remember back in the day when I used to live in Colorado, I know this sounds crazy, but this is really cool. When we used to work for that Little Nell resort in Aspen I was telling you about, where they bought out Quality Inn. Well, the Quality Inn they bought out, they would put us up in these rooms, which is really cool. It was for free, and we didn't have to pay any rent. And which was great, because we lived right smack dab in the middle of like town. It was nuts. But we go downstairs to the downstairs at this hotel, they had a bar, or used to be a bar, a restaurant, and they would just open it up for the staff. Oh. And we used to buy they would serve alcohol. The hotel didn't care if we drank, as long as we stayed, right there, and we were responsible, and we never got crazy. Right. But the cool part is we used to sit around and just drink Fat Tire all day. It was great. It was fantastic. It was like $2 a beer. Yeah. They would charge us just to take care of the cost, and that was it. They weren't in it to make profit. Yeah. But that's how you treat people, man, and that's how I always try to do. And when you work for Prevail or anything I do, I try to take care of people. I got one guy, and I was like, dude, straight up with me, what do you want? He was like, I just want to work part-time, 8, 10, 12 hours a week. I was like, done. And he gets 15 an hour, he gets tips, and we try to take care of our people. as much as we possibly can.
You hiring right now for both of those things? I'm not asking for me. I'm asking for like.
Yeah. Oh, well,
look, if anybody.
I mean, we'll probably start hiring soon. Not at the moment.
I'm more than happy to come and work for you, I guess. If you need it.
I know you were joking, but yeah, soon, we're trying to build a model for both, where worst case scenario, we can't find anybody, which that's not going to happen. We'll probably find a couple of people for the cafe, but I just want to be on my toes. I want to be on my toes because these past 2 years have been nothing but pivot. I mean, pivot is the operative word here.
I mean, that's
for a definition of what these 2 years have been like. Because you've got to improvise and adapt. I mean, these 2 years, I couldn't tell you how many curveballs we've had. It's just nuts.
It's kind of life in general, isn't it?
It's just like, golly, can we just chill out for a year or two? Yeah. Nothing happens where everything's just chill.
Yeah. I wish. Maybe I'll get there one day.
Oh, my Lord. It'd be kind of cool to get like a time machine, just go back to the 50s,
Yeah.
When things were just like chill.
I feel like they probably weren't as chill back then either.
Probably not. I'm sure there was things I didn't know about.
Yeah.
Like some sort of, I'm sure there were protests. I think that's just we humans. I need to be careful.
You're all right.
But it's exciting. It's cool. It'll be fun. We just tried a really cool atmosphere. We even thought about toying around with the idea with a food truck manager, having, share the profit, do like, a certain percentage of the sales goes into your check or whatever. Just try to make a good quality of life.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. But hopefully, I don't know. So we're just trying to adapt, improvise, and overcome.
Yeah.
And just go from there. And keeping the same mantra of like, just getting really good food.
Yeah.
Making really good food and just making everybody happy as much as we possibly can. And do our best. That's all we can do.
I want to talk about that story you were telling earlier before we hopped on. The whole reason I was like, let's go ahead and start the podcast. And then we just completely bypassed the story. I was so wrapped up. I love talking to you.
Yeah.
I really do.
I enjoy talking to you. You're a good conversationalist.
Thank you.
That time of my life was an interesting life. I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you. I just went on a rampage, man, when I graduated high school, man. I just like, I'm out of here, dude.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's why I think I probably won't ever move back to Charleston is because I know so many people that I feel like sometimes they look at me as the 16-year-old Matt Cole.
Yeah.
And it's hard to be taken seriously.
I get that.
Do you know what I mean?
I get it. Yeah.
And it drives me bananas. But like when I go to Winterville, North Carolina, and I say I want to open up a cafe, people are like, ooh, that's cool. You know what I mean?
People who don't change in life assume other people don't change or get upset when they do because they're where they are. They're where they were 15 years ago.
That's well said. I like that. Yeah. That's
exactly what it is. Think about it. Think about any time that because we all do it. We're all human. We all have these tendencies. You see somebody who is just not the same, and maybe they're better for it, but they're not the same, and you're like, who the fuck do you think you are?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's so crazy.
That's because we all do it, and it's something that everybody should work on. It's something I've had to work on. I try to be, as non-hater as I can be, because it's just a tendency we have as humans. Yeah. And I've gotten control of that, Yeah. I'm at the point where like I don't want anybody looking at me like that, so I don't look at anybody like that.
Right.
But I think that's definitely what it is. It's people who are stuck where they are or have chosen, even if they didn't choose this on purpose, they've chosen not to continue or not to move forward and change and evolve. They get upset when you do.
Yeah.
It's
so
human
true.
nature, I think.
It's so true. And it's like when I graduated high school, I stuck around for 2 years, worked at this high-end fine dining restaurant. And I really don't know what happened to me, man. I just got this wild hair. And I was like, you know what? It would be really cool. You know what it is? It's just, being around like high-end stuff, it's like it raises your standards. And I felt like at my time, I was like 17, 18 years old, and it raised my standards.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I want to go to this really cool culinary school, and I'm going to get the best education I can possibly get. so I went to school in New York, and then I quickly realized, hey, these people are looking at me differently than the 15 or 16-year-old Matt Cole. They're looking at me as an adult. They're observing me and saying, what is this guy about? They're basing their judgment off of what they're seeing at that moment.
Yeah.
They're not basing off the moment when I had a keg party and almost got caught by the cops in high school,
Yeah.
So I'm being, I had, different, which I think is an edge, so.
Oh, yeah.
That's why, I enjoyed, traveling and doing a bunch of different stuff as a private chef. But, man, I'll tell you what, being a private chef was just crazy. It was awesome, man. It was a good time. But, we were talking about, it was like one time, it was during the holidays. It was crazy. And this guy I was working for, first family I was working for, we were, doing a bunch of parties, and he had like 4 chefs, and he had 2 in Charleston. And we were getting ready for the holidays, and and I, was just busy, it was crazy busy. And he's a high celebrity, not, he wasn't a celebrity. He was a
high society.
Yeah. He was a high profile CEO is what he was. He started a major company. At any rate, so we were working, and me and the other chef were working in the kitchen, and I was starving. So I grabbed one of those Totino's pizzas, and
right. We were talking about like how those are one of my 2 guilty pleasures. Lunchables, and then if you go to Walmart, you do have the Tostino ones,
the super value.
But those are like
called super values.
Great value.
Great value.
Yeah. So the Tostino ones are Tostinos.
Totinos.
It's Totinos. Yeah.
Totinos. I think
Those are like $1.30 or something.
Yeah.
Or $1.40.
They used to be like $1.
Right. For half the price, you can get the great value version, which is 74 cents.
Yeah.
I was saying 75 earlier to sound like I didn't know. But it's 74.
I hear you, man.
It's 74 cents. So for $1.50, you can get 2 of those bad boys.
Yeah.
And get you a nice sized lunch if you feel like being a super fatty like me.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were talking about that, and you said you got one.
Yeah, I got one, and and here we are. I'm in a beautiful multi-million-dollar mansion. Okay, if you can picture this, you can actually Google it on YouTube, Sorgate House. But beautiful kitchen, all these high-profile individuals, and I'm sitting there, and they're all out in the dining room or whatever, and I'm like, I'm starving. I had to get something down, my throat, and I put a Totino's in, took it out, put it on the countertop, and that my client comes into the kitchen, all dressed up in his tux or whatever, and he's like, ooh, and he tries my pizza. I guess, it was
thinking it was something that you made.
Right. And so I was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed.
No. Oh God. Okay.
Yeah. And I just didn't say anything because
Yeah.
I felt so bad. And he looked at me and he's like, oh, wow, this is really good. And he walks away. I was like, oh, my God. The other chef looks at me. He's from the Bahamas. His name was Elvis. He's from the Bahamas. He goes, hey, man, you better throw that in the trash, man.
Yeah.
I know I just sounded Jamaican, but I tried to sound Bohemian
Close.
as much as
whatever.
I possibly can. But it was just
that is funny.
It was just crazy. We've had some good times.
I think that was funny to me because that's something you see in like movies, But if you're expecting something to be really good, if you're expecting something, if you sell it, which you had at that point, you didn't speak on this pizza, but like you were there to create these delicious little finger foods or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's why he was like, oh, like awesome. He made a flatbread.
Yeah.
And like a little little pepperoni pieces on it. Sick, And if you're that guy, you've probably never seen one of these pizzas. Like if I walked in, I'd be like, "Oh, that's definitely not part of this," but I'm going to eat some anyway.
Yeah, it's Totino's, man. Everybody knows Totino's and ramen.
Yeah,
those are the 2 things that everybody knows.
We lived on ramen for a little bit there.
I tell you what, and bologna sandwiches. I love bologna.
It's so bad, but it's so good.
It's so good, man.
Yeah, I didn't know that it's a carcinogen. Like it is.
Really?
Like processed meat like that? I just learned that like a little while ago, and I was like, oh, man, well, I take in enough of those already, so who cares?
If I can help it, I'll try to get like all beef, if I'm at the house.
But I don't think I've ever had like a bologna that wasn't made in a factory.
Well, yeah, I mean, there are certain brands that are just like, I don't know, that kind of question, very careful. But if I can...
The clear with the red... The red on the outside with the yellow top, that's the whatever. If it looks like that, I'm buying that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I forget. I'm trying to think of the name brands, but it's not coming to my memory. But one thing I really do enjoy is mortadella. I enjoy mortadella very much.
The first time I had mortadella, I was like, this just tastes like bologna.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
Yeah, it's emulsified meat products is the best way to describe it.
But is it better made? Like, is it just like a better made product?
Yeah, that's a good question because that's the question I asked myself in my head just a minute ago. I was like, does it make it better?
Yeah.
I mean, it's still made out of hooves and snouts.
I ain't worried about that.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about the preservatives and stuff that's in it.
Yeah.
That's,
I mean, when it comes to ingredients, I really try to like get close to, away from all that preservatives and all that fun stuff as much as I possibly can.
As far as like what's in, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. I was done.
As far as what's in like a processed meat or something, I'm not one of those people who like is scared of random shit being in it.
Yeah.
At all. Like none. You could be like, this tastes amazing, but before you eat it, I need to tell you, this has hooves, bull testicles, tongue, heart, liver. It's got all this stuff in it. I'm like, okay, but does it taste good? He was like, yeah. All right, cool. Give me a slice. I don't care.
Remember our last discussion about Rocky Mountain oysters?
Yeah. Still haven't tried it, but I would.
Yeah.
If it tastes good, it tastes good.
What did we say? If somebody made them, we'll try them.
Sure. If somebody wants to get some Rocky Mountain oysters, I'll eat them. I don't know that I want to eat it boiled. But like deep fried, I'd try it deep fried.
I have no idea how to make them because I'm the type of cook where if I don't want to eat it, I just won't even look into how to make them. I'm not even a bit interested.
I feel like deep fried and then sliced up and put on like a little plate on like some mashed potatoes or something.
I mean, it's got to be somewhat good and edible if other people are saying, oh, yeah, Rocky Mountain oysters, they're really tasty. I mean, I've heard people say they're good.
If you can make liver taste good, you can probably make a testicle
taste
good.
That's true, yeah. Especially like
liver
snails.
just tastes like blood.
What about escargot?
I've never tried that. I'm not much on like that. That's for some reason for me falls into the like seafood category, which is not my favorite.
Yeah.
I don't know why that falls into that for me.
Yeah, I remember that conversation.
Yeah,
you don't eat a lot of seafood.
I'm real big on seafood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because seafood is so good.
It's not me. It's not me being picky though. Like I think there's something in like like some people can't. Was it cilantro?
Yeah.
Like some people can't do cilantro.
I love cilantro
because it tastes like
soap.
soap.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, nope, I don't get that at all. When I eat cilantro, I'm like, what is it?
Cilantro.
What is it? Is it like Mexican food that cilantro's on a lot?
A lot, yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of cilantro.
I think it's that, but it's whenever I eat cilantro, I'm like, it reminds me of a certain kind of food. Like it's not like soap.
Yeah.
And I think I got the same thing like with some people love raw broccoli.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah. I'll eat it. Like, but I won't like crave it and go out of my way and do it.
Yeah, no. Like I'm not like leafy greens and stuff, the stuff I'm supposed to eat, legitimately super bitter and disgusting to me.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Like I know it sounds like I'm just being picky, but I've tried.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah. No. I love broccoli soup though. Broccoli cheddar soup.
Cooked broccoli, I'm good.
Yeah.
Cooked broccoli, cooked asparagus. Most cooked vegetables I'm all right, but raw, no, I'm hard pass.
Yeah.
Real hard pass.
I'm very picky about like broccoli salad. Like somebody tries to make a broccoli salad with mayonnaise and bacon.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's not bad if it's made right. If it's I'm very picky when it comes to like cold salads, like pasta salad, chicken salad, tuna salad, egg salad.
I'll destroy a pasta salad.
I think all that stuff has to be fresh. Otherwise, after 2 or 3 days, it's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My a friend of mine, this is kind of like a cheating pasta salad, but it was so good. Like he literally just took some colorful pasta as you do. He took little mozzarella balls and just threw those in.
Yeah,
and then he added some spices here and there, and then he just took Olive Garden's house dressing. And mix it, and it's so good. Like it's so cheating.
The Olive Garden dressing is so good.
It is. Man. It is very good. If you go to Olive Garden for whatever reason, if you get lost or something and you find yourself in an Olive Garden, if you take their breadsticks, you ask for an extra like couple cups of their house dressing, and dip those breadsticks in that, it's insane.
Huh.
It's the same friend who made that pasta salad taught me that like 10 years ago.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It's very good. You should try that. Yeah. If all you do is go for like soup, salad, and breadsticks, do that.
Yeah.
Really
I love their salad. It's so refreshing and so good. But I mean, I go to franchises from time to time, you know.
I was just talking shit about Olive Garden.
Yeah.
I go to franchises all the time.
Yeah.
Last time I went to no offense to whoever owns it, I guess.
Yeah.
Olive Garden here, not great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's Olive Gardens everywhere, if like costs have been a thing and they had to cut some stuff. But
yeah. I know it's crazy, man, but like I haven't been to Olive Garden since I moved here. I'll be honest with you. It's crazy. But remember back in the day, I don't know if you're old enough, but remember back in the day, Olive Garden was like the restaurant.
I remember
Applebee's, Outback, Olive Garden were like.
I remember that because like that being like I remember thinking Olive Garden was fancy.
Yeah, yeah.
Because of how I grew up and like I grew up eating like Chef Boyardee and shit.
Same here.
And so Olive Garden was super fancy.
Yep. Same
to
here.
me. And you know, now again I go back and I'm like, oh, you know what? I could have microwaved my own lasagna. Thanks.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't have to.
They were on a roll, man. It was in the late 90s. Or
I'm sure
2000s.
they started real strong.
Yeah.
But I mean, as you franchise, you have to get to it. You can, I think with certain foods, you can only franchise so much, like certain kinds of food, like burgers and fries, super easy.
Yeah.
Cause like those don't have to be, they don't have to taste like Cookout.
Yeah.
You know, Cookout's actually, I think
they
a
do
really good job.
Yeah, I do too.
With franchising how they do. Cause that doesn't taste like a fast food burger.
Well, I think a lot of them that do all the production in-house, I think they do better. I think Five Guys, they do all the production in-house. They do Cookout does all the production in-house, and I know both of those are just burgers. But I say that because like I don't know, early 2000s, mid 2000s, I think a lot of restaurants, a lot of franchises were doing like they would buy like a kitchen in Oklahoma, real cheap, like a big huge warehouse kitchen, and they would produce all their soups and their sauces in that, and they would distribute all of those soups and sauces to all the restaurants across the country to cut cost on labor. Which, you know, and I think that's where it comes in, where it kind of demits. Because when you make like 50,000 gallons of broccoli cheddar soup, it's not going to taste the same if you were to make like a gallon of it. It's very hard to mass produce.
Is soup something that's easy to like freeze and
absolutely,
like unfreeze and keep the same?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like kind of taste.
Absolutely. Well, I'm speaking from like when I was a private chef, I used to make like 2 or 3 gallons of soup. And then, you know, I would give, you know, some soup to the family that night. And then they loved it when I put it in whatever containers and freeze it. And they would pull it out whenever they were in the mood for soup.
And just heat it up or microwave it.
Yeah, they loved it.
Yeah.
And it, you know, and I've done it. And now I don't know about mass production.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother science, man. It really is.
I feel like if you're making that much soup, like if there's anything in the soup that's going to separate, if you're trying to freeze it and transport it or whatever, it's going to separate before you. I don't know. You know what I mean?
I do, and I don't know a lot of information on that, but like I mean, that's a whole nother industry. I mean, they've got like what they call R&D chefs, research and development, where they've got chefs that predict, you know, things going bad, you know, things breaking, things do, you know, there's so many different things that could go wrong or right with any kind of product that they do, whether it be frozen enchiladas to frozen biscuit and sausages, whatever the case may be. But it's just, you know, it's definitely a field that doesn't interest me. You know, like I know chefs that want to do like wood fire pizza and then package them and then put them all over the country. I mean, I've had wood fire pizza, you know, that was frozen in the fresh market, and I've had the frozen wood fire pizza from the same restaurant, and it doesn't taste the same.
Yeah.
It's very hard to hit that nail on the head when you start mass producing. Is it worth it? I don't know, man.
I guess it depends on the divide between the product that you're getting at the store versus the product you're getting at the restaurant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do.
Like if you're like, I mean, it doesn't taste exactly the same, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
You know, is it worth it at that point? You know?
Yeah. I mean,
are you paying more for the frozen one or less for the frozen one?
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. And people are like, well, you know, how are you supposed to be a millionaire? You know, if you're not going to mass produce, well, you picked the wrong industry. You're not going to be a millionaire in the restaurant business.
Yeah.
You just got to be happy with what you got. You know, I heard something on TikTok the other day that was really good. And about having enough is you got knowing where enough is.
That was a strange sentence coming from you, by the way.
Why is that?
It's just funny. I heard something on TikTok the other day. It was really good. I just wouldn't expect that. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. No, it's all good. But yeah, it was just, I listened. Well, TikTok's kind of cool. I mean, they've got a lot of positive stuff on there. I don't know. So, but it was really cool, man, because like they were just saying, I don't remember word for word verbatimly, but it was talking about, when you have enough, and I feel like I live in a society where, everybody just wants more.
Yeah.
50-room mansion and 2 yachts. And, when is enough? And was basically what they were saying. And I guess because me being a private chef and living in that kind of situation, it's not great like you think it would be.
It sounds like a nightmare.
Being a celebrity, do you know how much pressure you have? I mean, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
It takes you away from, I don't know. I don't want to speak. I'm just telling you from my personal experience. It's a lot of commitment.
I imagine
it's a lot of commitment.
It could take you away from like real human interaction.
Yeah.
With the regular folk, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And with your family to a certain extent.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it could. I don't know from experience or anything, but I know that to get to that level, you have to be so focused and so you have to stay busy. Like you have, committed. You have to be committed to that life and to that, that level of grinding.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of sacrifice. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes that people sacrifice their relationships with their friends and with their family.
That's exactly my point. It's a lot of sacrifices.
I just want to live comfortably.
That's exactly where I'm at in my life. And I love my wife to death, and she wants, and I want to give her what she wants. She wants a nice little beach house, and it probably will be bigger than I would want. I'll be honest with you. I just want something small and stay away from paying a lot of bills.
Same, by the way. Like whole situation. Yeah. Whatever we get with me and Crystal, it's going to be a mixture, I'd probably say like a 40-60 split on, I want it like this, and then you can handle the rest, whatever. Once we get to that point, Crystal's a bit more bougie than I am.
So is my wife.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's just stuff that I've seen it as a private chef, having excess and what it does to family and friends.
It makes you weird.
It does.
I mean, no offense to anybody who's got that kind of money, because some people handle it fine.
Right.
Other people just get weird, man, because you can't, from what I understand and from, it makes sense. You're not going to be, you're not plugged into society the same way.
No.
You're kind of detached, and it makes you strange. It can, if you're not careful, I guess.
I mean, I would hate to be that individual where I couldn't go to a Publix and just shop.
Yeah.
You know, I just would not like it. I want to be free, and I want to, be on about. I mean, I don't care, man. I mean, people can keep their yachts and their Ferraris and their Lamborghinis.
Yeah.
That's just not my style. And you know what? And if that's their style, great for them. That's what they want in life, go for it, But, I just, I try to just stay focused on what I'm doing. I love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do. And I like to have a good time. And, as long as everybody's in the win, I just want everybody to be happy with what position or situation that we're in. I was talking to an investor last week about that. I was like, whatever you decide to do, I just want you to be happy. I don't want it to be a drain or anything like that. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not in it to be a millionaire. You know, I don't think we're going to, this cafe is going to be gangbusters. It's just going to provide a good lifestyle.
Right. Yeah.
And, where, we know where enough is and be happy with that.
Yep.
And be, I'm not saying I'm a person of content or I'm not a person that has low expectations. I just, I'm not going to sacrifice, my relationships for something that is just,
right.
Just because 50 million people know me.
Right.
Who cares?
Yeah. That sounds like a nightmare. No,
I'll be honest with you.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be cool for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, all right, can I like please go take a shit without you following me? Pretty please.
It's crazy, man. It's just nuts, man. It's just, I guess it just opened, my eyes were opened a lot when I was a private chef and I saw kind of crazy stuff, man,
This would be a good place to be famous, though. Like Jimmy Donaldson, Mr. Beast, one of the, most recognizable faces and names in the world. Yeah. Lives right here in Greenville, North Carolina.
That's crazy to think about, isn't it?
And I never see the guy. I don't know. Like people around here, I guess, like a lot of people know he's here. Right. So if I saw him in like Food Line or something, like or in Walmart or wherever, I don't know where he shops. If he shops at all, probably doesn't. Like if I had to guess, because he is pretty recognizable. Right. But like if I'd see him, I'm like, oh shit, it's Jimmy. Cool. I'm not gonna bother him though, because if I was him, I would not want to be bothered. Right. I'm probably the 15th person today in the last 20 minutes.
Well, he, and this is from another person that told me this, that knows somebody that's his assistant or whatever, or close to him. I think he's close to him, Mr. Beast. He said that he doesn't really care to go out because he gets bombarded.
I bet.
So he just stays, he tries to stay busy and do other things where it doesn't, but see, that's, and I'm sure he doesn't have to worry about money, which is great. Mm-hmm. Maybe he does. I don't know. I don't know his situation, but
no idea.
I just wouldn't want to be in that position, where I couldn't, where I wouldn't be able to go out, and enjoy myself and go to a farmer's market and stroll. And that's why a lot of times you'll never see me at a brewery drinking more than maybe 1, maybe 2 beers. Yeah. I'm very, very careful, because after 3 or 4 beers, I don't want to say anything.
Yeah, I got you.
That hurts my business.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Guy. So if I'm drinking more than 2 beers, I'm at the house.
Yeah, I get that.
But just trying to be careful. That's all. But
I saw. Speaking of saying things that hurt your business, I don't know if you saw this. I'm not going to name any names, but this particular owner of a restaurant, kind of not a restaurant, but kind of a restaurant. Someone posted a conversation on Facebook, like on the Pitt County, Greenville, whatever.
I'm trying to think who it might be, and I don't know who it is.
I'll tell you after.
Okay.
But it was really bad. Like apparently someone left a review that this person did not like about their restaurant or their place of business, I'll say. And they sent them messages on Facebook that sounded very threatening.
Wow.
Like not like I'm gonna put you out of business threatening, like you don't know me, like shut the fuck up. You don't know what I could do. Like cussing at this person. I was like, shit, that's not a good move. Dude. That is not smart. Don't do that. Do not do that. Yeah, it was really bad. I'll show you. It's probably still up. It's got to be. But I'll tell you afterwards. Yeah, that's one of those things, man. Like even in a place like this, like I don't want to say you have to be careful, because if you're a good person, hold on, let me figure out how to say that. You know what I mean? Like you have to, is from what you were talking about is more like there are people on 2 sides of certain issues. Yeah. Not necessarily good or bad issues. It's just like some people are okay with this and some people are not okay with this. And if you state an opinion as a business owner, it can fuck you up.
Yeah, it can. It can.
And I think when you're the type of person who messages people threateningly because they left a bad review, I don't think you have to worry about slipping up. I think maybe you just need to worry about doing better. Yeah. Just be a better person. You know what I mean?
I think I've had 2 complaints on my Facebook or wherever, but and both times I've really tried to evaluate. The first one was a misunderstanding, and we cleared it up, and everything was fine, I hope. And then the second one was just like a situation where I looked at the situation, and I tried to make just a good judgment on what needs to be done. And I thought I responded professionally and tried to treat her well and all that fun stuff. And but when it comes to people going on Facebook and complaining, you try to do the best you can, I guess. You
got to deal with it professionally.
Yeah,
there's a balance you have to strike between customer's always right and well, the customer happens to be very wrong in this particular instance. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you have to walk a tightrope. Yeah. You know, and that, like, if a customer is very wrong, you have to kind of stroke their ego a little bit and be like, hey, we're so sorry that this happened.
Of course.
This was a misunderstanding. Right. You know, this is how this is served. Right. We don't, you know, this poke bowl, it's supposed to be raw. Like it's how it is. It's what it is. But yeah, stuff like that can be really tricky. People are so, people are tricky, like, in general. Yeah. Dealing with people who don't understand what you're doing. Yeah. Like people who aren't in the restaurant business. Like somebody who's worked in a restaurant before might understand why the food is taking so long and how it's definitely not the waiter's fault, most likely.
It's kind of like me trying to, like, put my advice on the military general. Yeah. I have no idea how to run an army, you know?
No clue.
And, you know, and that's why, you know, when we have something to complain about, you know, a restaurant that I may have eaten at, I rarely would never say anything because, you know, I always try to put myself in, you know, they might have had a bad day. Mm-hmm. I mean, something.
You get it. You empathize.
Yeah. There's compassion, there's empathy, and, you know, and nobody's perfect, you know, and it's just that I always just, you know, keep my mouth shut and, you know, hopefully the manager or the chef will catch whatever's wrong.
And if you ever do, I think we mentioned this earlier, if you ever do feel a need to say something, just go directly to them. Yeah. And be like, yo, so you guys know, this was a little undercooked.
And I always do it on the DL.
Yeah, like, it's perfectly fine. Like, we're all right. Like, it was just like, it's a little undercooked here.
I don't want anything free. Just, you know, I just thought I'd let you know because I would want to know. Mm-hmm. That's exactly the reason. I'm not trying to get anything out of you or anything like that. Just, you know, if it were me, I would want to know so I can go back and say, and talk to the person and say, hey, this was what's up, you know? Or if it was me, I would want to know. Mm-hmm. If I made the mistake and I overcooked the steak or whatever, I would want to know. And, you know, that's just me, you know? I hope, I don't know where that's going to end up in 5-10 years, or is it going to get worse?
I feel things swinging back, like, towards the middle. Yeah. I feel like I can see that. Maybe it's just my own, like, brain. Yeah. Maybe it's just me changing the way I see things, but I don't know. I feel like there was, like, over the past couple years, 2 or 3 years, been a lot of, like, just outrage in general about anything. Certain matters, completely understandable and completely justified. Mm-hmm. Other matters, I don't know about that. Like, what the fuck are you? Calm down. I don't think this needs to, you know, whatever. But I feel like things are people are starting to level out and neutralize, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? People are coming to their senses a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully.
I don't know.
I don't know. I just hope we go back to, I mean, it'd be kind of nice to go back to what we used to do. You know, when we had food critics and Zagat survey, which is a big, you know, are you familiar with Zagat? Zagat survey?
I feel like I've heard the name.
Zagat. It's basically, it's a book. When you go to New York City, you get the Zagat survey book, and it'll tell you all the restaurants, and it's true, you know, from people that go out to eat all the time, and they're basically critics, established food critics. You know what I mean?
We need some of that here.
Yeah, we do. We need
like one or two real, like, food critics who.
Right. I don't think we have any. I don't know. I don't even know about them. Yeah. I have no idea. But, you know, Zagat survey is a great guide to find a really good restaurant in New York City. Even in Charlotte, they go all over the country in major cities. You know, you also have Michelin star, but that's super high ranking. Yeah. You got James Beard, which is another super high ranking. But back, 20 years ago, we used to, every newspaper had a food critic, and they would go around town and just, give their story on their experience at the restaurant.
What does it take to be a food critic? Like, is there to be a quote unquote real food critic?
Yeah. Not a whole, I don't want to say not a whole lot, but, I don't know, man. I really, do
you need a culinary background? Like,
from what I've seen in the past, no. I've even seen food critics not even I think most of it stems from going out to eat so much.
Just experience. And a wide open palate.
Yeah. I mean, food critic. I mean, yeah. Just so because they have references.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To pull from.
Yep.
It's kind of like me going to Texas and trying barbecue, and then living somewhere else and be like, that's my reference point. Another reference point for me is Charleston. I do compare food to certain places. Like when I go to a taco, when I go to like a taco restaurant, I compare it to Taco Boy in Charleston. A lot of my favorite places. So I think that's where it all starts, and having standards, in the industry of high quality standards of really good food. I come from a background where, we just want whatever we do, we just want it to taste good at the end of the day.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we just want it to taste good and have a really good experience and also offer, products that are local for sure.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's just making sure that, that the customer's happy. Sometimes you have to take, a little bit of a beating the customer. But, I appreciate the customer. I love our fan base here or customer base or whatever you want to call it.
You can call it a fan base.
Yeah. It's great here, man. Greenville and Winterville are super supportive of local new restaurants. Super, super supportive. I'm really excited. So
I love that.
Yeah, it really is, man. It really is. It's really neat. You got all different kind of demographics here in Greenville. Mm-hmm. It's really growing,
especially over in I don't know about now, but a few years, 10 years ago or so, Winterville was a lot of people from up north, like from northern states coming down, and they would move into the Winterville area.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe that's it, because I have noticed that too. Like a lot of people that live in Greenville has either gone to ECU or has lived in Greenville all their lives. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. I mean, the neighborhood over there by Best Buy, you see a lot of surgeons over there, I think. A lot of hot,
Oh, okay.
I know. Really nice. It's like
it's like tucked back in the woods.
It's like it's massive.
Yeah.
There's a lot of but yeah, I mean, I do see we've done a lot of parties in Winterville, close to Aden, where they're transplants from Boston, Atlanta, that sort of thing, that work at the hospital that are doctors or surgeons. I think they're doctors. But yeah, I do see a lot of that too, which is, I'm telling you, man, the foodie scene up in Winterville is blowing.
That's good.
I'm telling you,
that's really good.
Yeah, there's this little spot that I was in downtown Winterville that I think would do really well, that somebody needs to do a restaurant in. Right next to Tiebreakers. I would, but yeah, it's popping, man. And plus that road that we're at in Winterville, they're going to be expanding that into a 4-lane highway soon.
Good.
So,
because
dude, it's traffic.
The road is absolute trash when traffic, man. like in the Frog Level Road, like over there, kind of in the quote unquote back roads of Winterville, that were dirt roads 20 years ago or whatever.
Were they?
I don't know. Yeah. I'm just saying they haven't been like highly trafficked roads for very long. You know what I mean? Because like as soon as, if you're trying to get anywhere, like to South, what's the high school over there?
D.H. Conley?
No, the other one.
Rose?
No, the one in Winterville. I don't know. I'm blanking. Anyway, there's a high school over there, and I was going to a basketball game years and years and years ago, before like Greenville is what it is now. Yeah. And the traffic then, like on Frog Level Road, which is just a tiny 2-lane, you wouldn't think that the traffic would be terrible, but there's a quote unquote main intersection of Frog Level, and then some other road, which name, I can't remember the name of it right now. But like traffic gets so backed up right there. It's insane. Like just from it being a 2-lane, this one line of cars can go for like miles. Yeah. It's ridiculous. So yes, I'm glad they're making that a 4-lane. Sorry for anybody losing any ditch or anything, or losing any other yard.
Yeah. It's exciting, man. Especially when because my wife and I we talked about putting a drive-through in there and the little restaurant just for people to just drive up, get a coffee.
That would be cool,
like a latte or whatever.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's why I think that's a good spot.
Mm-hmm. And what's it called again?
Meeting Grounds.
Meeting Grounds. We didn't talk about that yet.
Yeah, Meeting Grounds. Grounds spelled in like with the coffee.
Okay.
Ground.
Yeah.
And then meeting is meeting place or eating 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 grounds.
That would be cool.
But the one I looked at it when my wife came up with the name, and then when I looked at it, I saw meat, like MEAT.
Yeah,
being a meat eater. But yeah, so it's a cute play on words. It's really cool. We just want a place where people can come, just have a coffee and maybe a little breakfast and do some meetings or homework or whatever the case may be in a relaxed atmosphere. I think it's a really cool spot. And, it'll be fun. We'll do some creative things, especially with like coffee drinks and that sort of thing. I thought about maybe doing like some beer and wine. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you, man, when it gets cold, I don't know if I'm gonna have the food truck out in February.
Yeah.
It's too brutal, man.
I get that. Yeah. Because you're just in the food truck with the door open and the window open.
It's cold.
The big serving window open.
It's too cold. So we might not go out that much and just kind of, stay there on Friday and Saturday nights and open for Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah.
And just call it a day, But, I don't know. But we're really excited. It'd be cool.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to go there. I'm excited to eat some of the stuff that was on that draft menu.
Yeah, the draft menu.
Yeah.
It's super dry. It's super rough, man. I mean, I want to do some crazy stuff, but there are people that just want a nice Reuben, or a nice pastrami or whatever, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of people that do that around here.
I could think of a few, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. A sandwich shop's not a thing. Like I think you got King's Deli downtown.
Yeah.
You had Mike's Deli and now it's Pirate's Deli, I think.
Yeah.
But that's about all I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry if I'm forgetting you, but
yeah.
I mean, other than that, you've got Jersey Mike's, Jimmy John's. You could say maybe Michelangelo's because they do sandwiches kind of, but that's mainly pizza.
I've never had their sandwiches there. Is it good?
I don't know. Crystal has the subs. I only go there for pizza.
Yeah, I go for their pizza.
That's all I'm there for. Crystal doesn't like super thin, crispy pizza. Every time I go there, I'm like, I want this slice and this slice. Put it in there, extra crispy, please.
Yeah. What does she get when
she gets a turkey sub?
Turkey sub?
Yeah.
What's on her turkey sub?
I don't know. Turkey, Swiss, tomato, lettuce. Nothing super
And they use
fancy.
like a
It's just
sub roll or?
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, it looks like a legit sandwich.
Yeah.
I'm not a sub guy.
I'm a sub guy, but I like Italian hoagie type subs.
Mm. Yeah,
I love Italian hoagies.
I like my subs to basically be cheeseburgers. You know what I mean? So I'm like pastrami with Swiss on rye or something, and just put it in a panini press for me. Make that super melty with some like a regular mustard or a spicy mustard or something.
Yeah, super
simple. Basically a cheeseburger.
Or a patty melt.
Yeah,
I love a good patty melt.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm talking about. Everybody loves sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
I love sandwiches. There's, I don't know. I think Bagel Man has a few options.
Bagel Man. That's another one. Yeah. They do some more breakfast. I think they're mainly
more breakfast,
but I think they do some lunch stuff too. Yeah.
I've been there a few times. It's really good. It's really tasty. I like it.
Oh yeah.
I haven't tried their lunch though, because every time I go, it's for breakfast.
Yeah. I think I've been there for lunch. I think I got like a pastrami sandwich
with regular bread, or was it on a bagel?
I think it was.
Because I swear I saw a Facebook posting with them with some sort of pastrami.
I think it was on regular bread.
Was it? Okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. It was a while back. I don't remember.
No, he's expanded now.
Yeah.
Or he's added on to what he's already got at Bagel Man. Mm-hmm. So I guess he's made this space bigger, or has improved his kitchen.
They just opened up. They bought the space next door, I think.
Oh, that's what it is.
When me and Crystal were there, I did notice. I'd never been in there before.
It's a pretty big place already.
Yeah. It's even bigger now. Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah. They've got a whole dining room at this point.
That's
like a whole separate area. But yeah,
Huh.
I'm excited about that shop, man. I'm excited to see
me too.
what you guys. When you said it's opening,
I'm gonna try to do January or February.
Okay.
Try to. It's just, you got so many different things like permits and applications and all that fun, the boring stuff.
talking with you and Luke and Hunter and Justin from Creative or Catch Creative, talking with all you guys about how much of a headache it is.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Nah, because I've had ideas for like little. I like to cook. I'm not like a chef or anything, but I make stuff that people like.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I could do something like that. But then talking to you, I'm like, nah, I'm good. Hard pass.
It is, man. It's just not worth it. I mean, because like our profit margins right now aren't very good because the prices of everything is going up so much. It's ridiculous. It's like for example, my fryer. It takes 2.5 cases to fill my fryer up. It's a 70-pound fryer.
2.5 cases of like oil. Right, yeah.
Right. And so for each case, before COVID started, each case was like $21.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, cool. Which is average. They're right now, you know what they are?
40 something?
$43 a case.
Oof.
Almost doubled.
Yeah.
I actually had a customer come up to the food truck one day. He's like, man, your prices are expensive. I'm like,
yeah, you want to see my...
Have you not paid attention to current events?
Yeah.
I mean...
Here's my expense list. Like, what do you want? What do you want from me?
I mean, it's like, I don't know, but a year ago, we go from gas prices, I forget what it...
At one point, they were less than $2.
Yeah.
At one point.
Propane for the fuel in the kitchen. A year ago, before COVID, it was like $2.34, and now it's jumped up to almost $4 a gallon. It's not cheap, man. It's not cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, we're my food cost has gone up for sure. So,
I'm gonna stick to what I'm doing. I buy my stuff, and then it just works.
Yeah.
It just continues to put out. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's, it's the cost of doing business, I guess. We'll just have to tough it out for the next year or two. Hopefully everything, hopefully it just goes away. I don't know. Maybe it'll go away after the 4 years. I don't know.
Adapt.
What I'm saying?
What would you say earlier? Adapt, overcome.
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
You do that.
You have to.
You'll be fine.
That's the key word for the past 2 years is pivot.
Things have been changing like this for, I'd argue to say centuries, and we're still here.
Yeah. I feel like there's been more changes in the last couple of years than anything.
I wonder if that's because we're in it. You're in the middle of it. You're in it instead of having an outsider point of view. I mean,
it would be much easier to just go work for someone and just kind of go in, clock out.
But would you be happy?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Because that is easier. There's trade-offs to being your own boss.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the freedom is great.
The freedom is the biggest thing.
I can work whenever I want. I can work however less I want or how much I want. I love being who I am right now. It's great. I love the freedom. I love, the responsibility. It's just, and I've got standards and I try to, live up to those standards and go from there.
I say this all the time. There's absolutely nothing wrong with working for somebody.
Yeah.
It's just there are certain types of people who just can't.
Right.
Like you could, but you're just not going to be happy. Some people, that security you get, that's enough. Like that is enough to sacrifice the freedom, and that is perfectly fine. That is,
maybe that is freedom to them.
Yeah, it gives you. It certainly, I guess so.
Yeah.
It may give you financial security.
You can go on a week vacation and still get paid.
Right.
Yeah. And not have to worry mentally about, when you're in the Bahamas, I got to call the restaurant and check on the restaurant manager and see if she's doing okay or he's doing okay, whatever the case may be. But
I like being able to roll over and turn my alarm off and go, I'll get up in a couple hours. I want to sleep a little more today.
Yes, sir. That's so true. That's so true. It's like when I leave here, I say, what do I want to do today?
Exactly. Yeah.
I know I need to answer emails.
Yeah.
But that's okay. But yeah, so it's just been really nice. I mean, it's a hard jump going from working for somebody and taking a paycheck to doing it on your own.
It's scary.
It's scary.
Because you do give up like that security. Like I'm every day, I'm looking at numbers and I'm like, all right, well, I need a couple more jobs to, make sure that this is taken care of. This is taken care of. And it's, if things dry up, it's like, we've got a little bit of the savings, but like, that ain't gonna last long.
It's funny you say that because it's like, I think that's part of the reason why I'm not so aggressive and trying to, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I tried to sell my food truck in the past, just to make some money and turn around and make a better truck or do another truck or put it into the restaurant.
You tried to sell this one?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Just to kind of make some cash if I wanted, sell it and turn around and do another truck or sell it and turn around and do a restaurant, whatever. I'm always trying to progress. I'm always trying to move forward. And, I haven't been so aggressive about it in the past 2 years because I'm always afraid in the back of my mind, okay, what if this whole COVID thing, I mean, this COVID thing has really changed the way I think now and the way I do business. I always, in the way I cook even, I'm more cautious in the, if I touch my nose, I'm like, oh, I got to wash and sanitize my hands. I'm very, very, I'm more alert, with certain things. And that's one of them. But, man, it was just, I'm just scared to get rid of it in this whole, something else happens.
Yeah.
That food truck really is a good answer, because what if, I don't know, I don't want to put it out there, but it is what it is. I don't know. What if I have to, have a fire in the restaurant?
Right.
I mean, what if my food truck's on fire and I got a restaurant? So it's like I've got options. I can keep going and still
keeping the eggs spread out in different baskets.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's so important. And that's why I'm trying to get this restaurant because it's important. And I was talking to somebody last week about franchising Prevail. And I think it'd be awesome if we had like a vintage food truck trailer in Wilmington or two of them in Wilmington because I have a ton of people wanting me to come there to the breweries and do wedding rehearsals.
Dude, to stay on the sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was done.
I feel like I keep doing that to you. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
You spark a lot of ideas in me.
Yeah.
But like it's a vintage food truck, like a food trailer.
Yeah.
Like getting like an Airstream to stay in that vintage lane.
Yeah.
Like an Airstream and converting that into like a food trailer. It would be super duper expensive, but I can't imagine it would be much more expensive than doing what you did with the old fire truck.
Yeah.
That you turned into a food truck.
That was really expensive. I'm trying to show you this email that I got.
The amount of work that look, if you guys haven't seen the Prevail Food Truck, just look them up on Instagram. That truck, if you're into old cars or even if you're not,
it's cool. I love it.
Beautiful.
I love it. It's awesome. But
it's asking to be franchised.
Well, it'd be cool to do an Airstream, but the more cost-effective thing that I would probably do if I did a trailer would be like Shasta, I think is what they're called. You can Google them, Shasta, and they come up with like really cool trailers with like these little wings on the back of them. Maybe a lot of the listeners today will know what I'm talking about. A Shasta trailer. Just put in Shasta, like the drink Shasta.
Shasta trailer. Oh, okay. Ooh, yeah.
Aren't those
like
cool? Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's very retro, isn't it? Retro.
Yeah. I like that. I like that.
And made into like a coffee trailer. That'd be so cool.
And that right there, you just got to put leaves on that. You're done.
Yeah. You see what I mean, dude? That's what people want. They want something different and cool.
Yeah,
like,
that's cool.
That
is cool.
So I would either do that because I can buy one of those for like a used one that needs a lot of fixing up, probably around $1,500, $2,000.
That's not too bad.
No, something like you're looking at there is probably around $8,000-$12,000.
That's still not bad.
That's I'd
comparing that to an Airstream, which are ridiculous.
Airstreams are very expensive.
I don't understand why. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I don't know.
It looks cool, but it's like, what? Huh?
It looks cool, but the reason why I like Shasta because they're small and they're just small. That's why I love them because they're small, cute, and people are drawn to them. I've even actually got a horse trailer, a two-pull horse trailer. I don't know what they're called. Anyways, it's my wife's, and we wanted to make it into like a coffee/wine bar
that
inside.
could be cool. Yeah.
It's we got some ideas, but this is what I want to franchise. I got a friend of mine in Miami. Oh, my phone's not working. Of course, maybe identify my face, but check that out. That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Can you send? Are you able to send that to me?
Not at the moment right now. Okay. Sorry,
guys.
Don't want to give people good ideas. It's got a little trailer hitch right there.
Yeah, that's cool.
And you can pull it.
Wow.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
So it cost about, my costs are around $30,000 to build these, which is a lot better than the truck that I have now.
Yeah.
As far as the cost, cost.
The amount of work you had to put into making that thing something it is not.
That's why I want to keep it, because I probably, yeah, it's a special project.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, I think it'd be cool to like take off the heavy equipment and put it in the restaurant, and then use it as a really cool beer truck.
Yeah. I think you should definitely keep it, because if you're going to move on from it one day, but it would be really cool to just have it.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be kind of cool to even buy like 20 acres and do like a horse farm, and then have that with a catering facility, and have that as my kitchen for weddings and wedding rehearsals. That would be another idea. Yep. I'm a dreamer, man. I'm a dreamer. I have a lot of great ideas. So, I mean, I'll talk a lot, and unfortunately, it's a good thing I don't have a lot of money, because I would spend it. I'd buy all these cool toys and invest. And
that's what I've got Crystal for. She keeps me from doing that.
Yeah,
not that I have a lot of money or anything, but if I did, is what I'm saying. She would keep me from doing that.
But yeah, that's what, hopefully in the next year or two, I could take that truck you just saw and put it in, one, maybe two in Wilmington would be kind of cool. One in Raleigh, and franchise it. Maybe not franchise it, because I'm very careful with that word franchise. I would be open to going in partnerships with people, where they take it. I believe that people's got to have some sort of skin in the game.
Yeah.
If you don't have skin in the game, I'm just not convinced you're going to have that much commitment into it.
Yeah.
Because I want people, like if I had like a restaurant in Wilmington, I want to make sure that somebody that's running it for me while I'm here has skin in the game, because I want to make sure every single plate has high standards that goes out to the customer.
Yeah.
I want everybody to have a great experience. I don't care if you're the mayor of Whoville. We want to make sure that, you're taken care of. And, if you're a friend of his, whoever, if you're nobody, I don't want to say that, but
you know what I know what you mean.
But anyways, if
you're not the mayor,
right? If you're not,
we understood what you were saying. You're fine.
Yeah, you're good. You speak Matanese.
Yeah.
But yeah, just making sure, just we do what we do, man. We do what we do, but it's fun. But we're excited. It'd be fun. It'd be a good time. So.
I'm excited to see what you do next, man. I'm excited to see this place open. I'm excited to see what you do with the food truck. I think having it as a bar is a smart idea. Like, have you ever opened up anything with like an outside deck area?
Yeah.
And just had the food truck parked? Like, if you think about it, like if you had the restaurant, an outside deck area, and then the deck roof is high enough for you to pull the truck up to the side of like where the railing is or something, drop the little thingy down, open up the window, and have that as a bar out there.
Yeah. I think that would be my next question for DHEC, Department of Health, who regulates food regulations for restaurants. How far can I go with that? As far as like doing what you just said. On the same property that I have a restaurant with. I'm not really sure how they would approach that, but that's something I need to do my homework with. But yeah, that's a really good idea. I like it. That's something I thought about as well.
Yeah. You probably have to get like whatever licenses and stuff that a bar would have to have.
I'm sure I have to get some sort of permit and then pay some sort of tax.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And then I swear, man, they tax us on so much stuff, man.
I can imagine.
It's crazy. If they come out in a couple of years where they're going to start taxing us on the air that we breathe, I'm not going to be surprised.
Dude, what's that tax did it pass? I think it passed. Like a tax on like your mileage. Like there's like a certain amount of miles you drive a year. I'm like, dude, like for normal people, not even for like business owners, just for normal people. I'm like, why? We already pay sales tax on a vehicle.
Yeah.
And then you pay, in North Carolina, you pay a 3% highway tax, I believe.
Wow.
And then there might be another one I'm not remembering because I just closed my eyes and swiped the card.
Yeah.
And especially with that damn thing. Like, that's an 03, like, vehicle. Like, it's a 2003 vehicle.
Yeah.
But the value on it, was good for me, except for when I have to go pay taxes.
Yeah.
Because it's still, like, for that, I'm still paying, like, almost $200 to, like, register it and tax. Like, and I'm like, that's like a much newer car price. And then it's going to be more, and I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, it's just crazy, man. It's just these taxes are, they take a good chunk. They take almost at least 30% of my business.
Yeah.
And it's insane how much taxes they put on us on small businesses. And, I don't know. So I try to do things and just pay attention to what other people are doing and try to, have tax write-offs and that sort of thing.
I try to surround myself with people who are much smarter than me and who are further along than me, which is why I'm very blessed to have people like you, Ellen Sheffer, Luke Owens, Hunter and Justin Cox, Hunter Harrison, isn't it? Yeah. I thought I was making that up because that was Crystal's maiden name.
I've never met Hunter. I've met
really
Justin
chill dude.
I met Justin a couple of times. He's funny. He's hilarious.
Justin is wide.
He's a hoot.
The fuck open. And Hunter, so me and Brighton sat down to have a meeting with them. I'm working with them just through Catch, doing a lot of. That's why I was at. Well, no, that night I was at Sidebar. Sidebar hired me directly, but I did a menu shoot for Sidebar that was through Catch. So I'm doing a lot of stuff through them. Yeah. And me and Brighton went to them for January. By January, I want to have a full website up and everything that's Small Stuff Media and then a bunch of different sections and stuff. Anyway, we were meeting about that. The whole point in this story is Justin is being Justin and Hunter is just like sitting back like, yeah. Yeah, it's they're a good team because Justin is like super like energetic and Hunter's the more laid back, a little more calm one. Yeah. It's a good dynamic. That's kind of how me and Brighton are. Brighton's the calm one. Yeah. I'm not. Brighton keeps me like kind of moving forward straight.
I need to find a good marketing because I was going strong in the beginning. Mm-hmm. I had this awesome girl. But,
might I suggest Catch Creative? Yeah. Yeah. I know that they just brought on a really good photographer and videographer guy who does a lot of their work, Yeah. You might do you know me? Right. Yeah. So we could do some work together.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to go with them, but
I don't know. I mean, I'm open to it.
They're awesome. They're a bit unorthodox, but they're smart. Yeah. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, my goal is to, my goal when I open this cafe and my goal with Prevail is I don't want to be a flash in the beginning. I want to be a consistent, sustainable business in the community. Yeah. That's why I want to do a cafe because I feel like the Hawaiian street food is really cool and it's edgy. And so, a lot of people come out and just try once or twice. And, it's not like Starbucks. Yeah. It's not like, a burger joint, or it's not like pizza. I could eat pizza 2-3 times a week.
Yeah. I do sometimes.
But with a cafe, I'm sorry.
I said I do sometimes.
Yeah, I do too.
It's not, not good.
And it's crazy with pizza. I'm going to go off the path here, but with pizza, it's like if I'm in the mood for wood fire pizza, I go to a certain spot. Or if I'm in the mood for a New York style, I go to a certain spot, et cetera, et cetera. But with the cafe, I think I'm able to just offer a good product that could keep us sustainable. You know what I mean? Coffee, good coffee, and I need to a fried chicken biscuit. Doing stuff like that, I think would make us more sustainable, more of a regular option. Where we get customers that will see them, once or twice a week.
Stuff that's slightly more normal, more everyday, quote unquote. Yeah. I think Hawaiian street food and like dumplings and stuff like that is great for a food truck. And I'm sure dumplings are good for a restaurant, but like Chinatown down the road here. Yeah. I don't even know that they had dumplings. Right. But they do, and they're really good. Yeah. But we always just get like sesame chicken's our thing from there. Right. It's really good. If you've never been to Chinatown, it's very, very good. Their egg rolls are the best egg rolls I've ever had. Like they're so good. Not that I'm like an egg roll connoisseur or anything, but very, very good. I don't remember what I was saying.
Are they vegetarian?
You might be able to get a spring roll.
Huh.
I think. I mean, I'm sure they've got vegetarian options.
Now you're making me hungry. I want to try some Chinatown tonight.
Yeah, go down there. They're open right now. Yeah, go down there and get some for lunch.
I think I am going to do, I don't know what I'm going to do for lunch. But anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot what I was saying too. But that's cool. That's cool. I'm going to have to check them out. But yeah, I was talking about the restaurant and just, offering some really cool stuff. But just all in general, just being sustainable, you know, just being a normal customer base. Because my wife, especially, she loves seeing regulars come in. I mean, the regulars love her. She's a sweet, sweet woman, and they just come and see Shayna smile. She's a hoot, man. She is a hoot. I don't know if have you met my wife?
No, I've seen her. I saw her at the sidebar.
We didn't want to interrupt you because it looked like you were working, so we were trying to be respectful.
You're good.
So we were trying to just do our own thing. We're on it was a cute little corner we were in. I don't know if I'm sure you noticed.
Yeah, I got a few shots of you guys when you walked in.
Yeah.
That corner was a little dark, so I couldn't.
Yeah.
I tried. But I had to stay in a certain area just because there wasn't a lot of room, and I'm very large.
Because I got a funny feeling if we would have sat where they were trying to sit us, we would have been talking to other people, which is fine. I mean, I guess that's why they wanted to, but man, it's just me and Shannon. We don't get out much, you know. It's hard to go out and try other restaurants when we're working. We're in the restaurant business, and hopefully one day we'll get to that point. I'm the type of guy. I'm not going to open up a restaurant and then not really go there.
Yeah.
And be behind the line. Yeah. I really want I'm a hands-on approach kind of guy, because I think I just care so gosh darn much. Yeah. I want people to have a good time and be able to go there and just relax. And and that's why I want to do some sort of franchise / partnership thing with this food truck idea, because I want people to have skin in the game and to care as much as I do, and to give great customer service and give really care about, making sure that the bulgogi steak is seasoned just right. Yeah. Because, what I feel, and then, because I'm like looking at coffee machines right now, and I'm trying to decide on a coffee machine that, you got to be careful. I feel like I cannot get a $15,000 coffee machine. Yeah. Right now, because a $15,000 coffee machine will need somebody to sit there and man it and work it pretty much all day.
Someone who really knows what they're doing too.
That knows what they're doing, because I've gone to places where they've had this $15,000 coffee, espresso, cappuccino, latte machine, whatever. And even though that the coffee has always been good, it's always been different.
Consistency.
But I want to go somewhere and have something where it's always good, but it's always consistent from what I had it last time. Yeah. And I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to admit, and somebody might call me out on this, being we're on air right now. With Prevail Food Truck, it's been really hard the last 2 months to provide consistency in the same ribeye that I use for the bulgogi for the steak fries, because of the chain in supply and demand, whatever, has been really hard on us. It's hard to get certain products in right now. It's getting better in the last 2 to 3 weeks. So I've been able to, curtail that and get back onto the path of consistency, which has been really good. On the menu, we've been putting back, like for example, we put back the karage Japanese fried chicken everybody loved. We put that back on the menu. We're going back to the old bulgogi that we used to have. But unfortunately, just last week I made this killer bulgogi that I used a different ribeye that actually worked out phenomenal. So that's good that I have choices that I can go back and forth if I want to, but it's not consistent. So I need to remind myself. And that's one thing that it's my internal conflicts inside my head that I keep saying to myself, Matt, just stick with what people know that people love and just leave it alone. Yeah. Because my nature, my inside nature, my creative side of me is like shouting out, Matt, do something different, Matt, do something different. Yeah. And I try to tame it, as much as I possibly can.
Don't fix it. It's not broken.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, I try to, that's where I try to, take my creativity side and just try to curtail it to do another dish, bulgogi bao buns. I did that for a party that we did last week and everybody freaked out and loved it. I took cucumbers and I marinated which I'm going to start putting on the menu, by the way. I did like what they call in Hawaii namasu, which is pickled cucumbers. And so what I did was I made like a pickled ginger mignonette. A mignonette is French with it's basically a dressing with vinegar, heavy on the vinegar side. Okay. It's basically long story, better for to explain that. But anyways, so yeah, I took the pickled ginger mignonette. I added the cucumber, sliced thin. It was a nice like Asian pickle is what it reminded me of. I'm gonna start putting that on the karaage Japanese fried chicken. Because at first I was putting like B&B pickles, which is good. I like bread and butter pickles.
Yeah, they're my favorite.
Yeah, I agree. But just there's something with just like taking cucumbers and then putting them English cucumbers and putting them in a mignonette that it's made from pickled ginger, cilantro, mint, and some sugar and sesame oil.
Are you like letting them sit for a while and actually pickle, or are you doing the? It's
actually more of like a quick, what we call in the restaurant industry, a quick pick.
Yeah,
which it pickles within like 30 minutes to an hour.
Are you like pressurizing anything, or it's just they're just kind of, they still taste like cucumber?
They taste like cucumber, but the next day it's one of those recipes where every day it just gets better and better.
Yeah.
I mean, on the third day, you're just like, you put one in your mouth like,
I mean, at that point, it's a pickle.
So good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
But, so that's what I try to do. I have all these different, menu items like the teriyaki shrimp. They sold like gangbusters last night.
I bet.
I mean, it's really good with a little side of the pickled cucumbers that I was telling you about. And, it's just, it was really cool to see, like, I think we were at an event with like 500 people last night. And people were trying different stuff. And I'm very thankful that a lot of people here in Greenville/Winterville trust my ability to go off the beaten path. You know what I mean? And do different stuff. And they're trying new stuff, which is kind of cool. With the whole Asian slaw or the karaage chicken or whatever it might be. And it's really neat. It's really neat. It's a really neat transition. It's really cool. And it's because when I first got here to Greenville/Winterville, a lot of people were like, you should just do a hot dog truck or you should do a burger truck.
There's a lot of those.
Yeah, there's a lot of those. I think there's a saturation for that. I think there's just a saturation in general right now with food trucks and restaurants. Just
last year was kind of, it forced a lot of people's hand. I mean, there's
true.
Restaurants closed down where you were able to still operate, were you not?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We were food fine. Truck? Yeah.
We were fine. 100%.
Yeah.
We got the actually people in the apartment DHEC really liked the whole food truck theory because when you get a plate of food, it's contained,
right?
And the idea of a food truck is really nice because you only have 2 people working the truck. So you have a less chance of contamination between those 2 people versus a restaurant when you have 10 servers and 10 line cooks and 3 dishwashers and you got to staff 40 people right there. You know what I mean? Just to run one restaurant for one lunch.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy because I hear the numbers of some of these restaurants. I'm like, my goodness, that's a very small profit margin.
Yeah.
Because I think the future of restaurants is going to be an interesting path in the next 20 to 30 years.
Think so?
Oh, yeah.
What you think?
Well, we have a lot of people leaving the industry because the industry is very harsh, hardworking. It's underpaid, overworked kind of situation. I think we're going to be doing a fast casual is what I call it, where kind of like Chipotle, where you walk in, you order, you sit down and eat.
Yeah.
The concept of fine dining will be few and far between. It'll still be around, but it'll be a treat.
Yeah.
But fast casual, I think, is a ticket where you can have a restaurant with the least amount of staff that is dedicated to what you're doing and believe in the culture that what you stand for.
Yeah.
And that's where I think it's going. It's going to take some interesting turns. That's for sure. all I know is this whole COVID thing, like I said, has really, really made me think long and hard about how to that whole, what is that saying? Hope for the best, plan for the worst, or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's exactly what I try to do is like, oh my gosh, because I'm not going to lie to you, man. Like when COVID first happened, man, it's like there were a couple of times where there was an employee or two that would just call out and I'd have to shut the truck down and cancel and blame it on the transmission, and it wasn't really the transmission. It was just staff would just, ditch me, and now we are at a point where if our entire staff calls out, me and my wife, we're going out on the road with or without you because we need to make money.
Yeah.
We need to be sustainable. And that's where I'm trying to get the cafe to, where we're staying, where we're just going to keep going.
It's a well-crafted net to fall back on if needed.
Yes.
And the truck would be that.
Yeah.
At times too.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I appreciate people that help us out and work with us, in getting to our goals. But in the meantime, I really am passionate about people that work for us as well. There's been several people that's worked for Prevail, and I'm like, look, I will help you if you want to start a food truck. I don't know about financially. I do know about spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally. I will do whatever I can to help you.
Right.
I know a lot about the business, but people are just, they'll leave a job for 50 cents more, a raise. But it is what it is. And so we're just trying to make the best of it, stay positive, and just, if staff calls out, great, we'll keep on trucking, keep on trucking. I think that's where we're going with the restaurant industry. Where restaurant stores, we've got to figure out, worst case scenarios and best case scenarios.
Yep.
We got to do what we got. I mean, look at Target, look at Walmart, look at, even McDonald's is doing the whole kiosk thing.
Yeah.
Self checkout, whatever, Lowe's, whatever.
Yep.
I mean, you see more self checkouts, even Sam's, more self checkouts than you do actual cashiers now. So I mean, I think that's where we're going, man. Where customer service is going to be a commodity for sale. It's going to be a rare thing to see is customer service.
It's going to make it a lot more valuable.
That's for sure.
When you do it right. Yeah.
And that's what we try to provide is great customer service. Even though, we might have a customer that is more, needs more attention, we still give it to
That's
them.
part of it.
Absolutely.
Good customer service isn't just when the customer's being nice.
Yeah. That's right.
When they're being assholes.
That's right.
Or when they're wrong or you're wrong or whatever, that customer service has to be on point at all times.
Yeah, it's definitely a very humbling experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you, man. I might be wrong, dude. I might be dead wrong, and I hope I'm not wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I really am. As far as the direction goes, I want more people in our industry. I want more people to come into our industry and be successful and grow from that. But at the same time, I'm a business owner, and I have to be real with myself. I have to say, okay, Matt, what if I have the entire staff call out?
Yeah.
What do? I can't close.
Yep.
I just read an article the other day that Chipotle somewhere in Colorado, Chipotle had to close because their entire staff quit on them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, even the manager, and it's just like, I mean, I'm sure it was probably, there's a good reason, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I'm just trying to be careful.
A well-crafted contingency plan will go a long way.
Yeah, so that's why we want to do a cafe, because it doesn't feel so intimidating like a restaurant where you need, a team of servers.
You can run a cafe with 3 people.
Right, exactly right.
Yeah,
exactly.
You can run a cafe with 1 person.
I just need...
If it's really bad.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why I want to do hot press sandwiches or sandwiches. It's a little bit easier than sitting there making, burgers and frying food. And that's a little bit more involved. Yeah. So I'm always trying to be careful in that sense. But, you got to do what you got to do. Yeah. What you got to do.
Well, man, I am, like I said, super duper excited for that to open.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Me too. Me too.
I'm excited to see what you do in the future. I think if you ever do want to sell, frozen versions of your food, the wrap that's on the Prevail truck that's asking to be branded,
who knows,
all that, whatever, man, you're gonna do great stuff. You are doing great stuff.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you.
Where can people find you, man?
We're all over the place, to be honest with you. But, to really pinpoint where we're at, just go on Facebook or Instagram and just kind of look at our schedule.
Is it at Prevail Food Truck?
At Prevail Food Truck. And you can just, see where we're at. Soon enough, you'll be able to come check out our tasty treats at our location at 4810 Old Tar Road.
Meeting Grounds
Cafe.
Yeah.
Sandwich and cafe. So
looking forward to it.
It'll be a good time. Yes, sir.
Guys, thanks for hanging in with us for over 2 hours.
Golly.
Yeah, it happens, man.
Oh, man.
But it happened last time you were here.
Yeah.
That's why I like having you on, because you can talk, and I like it.
That's crazy.
You're all over the place, and it's awesome.
Right.
And anyway, thanks for hanging in, guys. Make sure you go follow Small Stuff Podcast on Instagram if you're not doing so already. Follow Small Stuff Media on Instagram to stay up to date with everything that we're doing. We've also got Tales from the Shadows podcast and About That with OB. Those are 2 podcasts that we are producing. Tales from the Shadows it's kind of in the name, scary stories and stuff. If you're into that, we set a nice atmosphere to tell these scary stories, and we try to paint the picture for you. Super cool. About That with OB is OB Smith, just sharing her opinions on random stuff that she comes up with, that she's thinking about. It's really entertaining. If you're into that kind of thing, check her out. All right, she is super, super cool, super awesome, chill person. Give her a listen. I think, nope. You know what? There are one more thing I need to talk about. We've got stickers and keychains available on smallstuffmerch.com right now. If you want to go pick up one of those, it's just super, super simple. Something we were doing to celebrate 1 year of Small Stuff Podcast. So if you want something like that, go check it out. Everything should be in the show notes. I think that is everything. Matt, again, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
And you guys, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.